of DUI and charged with resisting an officer without violence.
With no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, and an app that lets you bank anytime, anywhere, choosing Capital One is like the easiest decision in the history of decisions. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Just want to let everybody know after that update, that was Johnny Damon, the Yankee. Not Johnny Damon, the Red Sox.
Red Sox. That was more of the New York side coming out.
Yeah,
Although I felt like Johnny Damon had a haircut with the Yankees, and he had that hair willy-nilly, let's just say, with the Red Sox, Brent. So who was he really playing for when that happened?
Johnny Damon actually was part of the Red Sox team that kind of self-proclaimed themselves the idiots.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
That's prideful of him.
Well, yeah, I mean, they kind of he was that guy. And, well, that's unfortunate news with Johnny Damon there. So hopefully you get that part cleaned up. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos, not in trouble at all here on a Friday. Not yet, at least, but we got
Not
3
yet.
hours to make that happen.
Plenty of time for that to happen, Brent.
My gosh, I'm not even going to talk about the weather, but cancellations in baseball and softball, that's what rules my life right now.
I mean, would you rather complain about the rain, or do you want to complain about like other places like Texas who are going through blizzards right now, man? I feel like we got it pretty made in the shade right now, to tell you the truth.
Isn't it amazing how much? I mean, Texas really messed that up, though, too. I mean, just from a government standpoint.
Sure.
I haven't paid too close attention, although I talked to somebody in Dallas today, had a meeting with them.
Yeah.
They said it's just been wild. I mean, that is some cold and some snow in some places that you just can't prepare for, but at the same time, I'm not sure it should be this drastic. And I guess that's what everybody is saying as well. I don't even know if it's a political topic, so hopefully not.
Spoiler alert, it kind of is.
It is?
Hey, a little bit.
Yeah.
Might have went.
Well, that part
on
is.
Okay.
That part is. But I don't think he was going to also turn all the power on by himself if he stayed home.
If he really cared, he would have.
Yeah, well, that's a different story.
Would have found a way. No, I'm kidding.
That's more of an optic discussion.
Sure.
That's on WOKV 104.5.
Just not right now, though. They're not talking about that right now.
Okay.
It's before our show or after our show.
Okay.
Not during our show. I mean, don't lose the listeners here, Brent.
Hey, nobody wants to hear about that stuff.
No.
I mean, come on.
Just go on Twitter and find that.
Hey, I asked this question earlier in the week, I think it was. Maybe it was late last week when talking a lot about Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Can we find somebody to criticize Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah.
And this isn't really a criticism, I guess, but it's not on the board the way everybody else is on board. And this was bound to happen through draft time. This is. I guess Ryan Clark has said it for a little over a year. He's not as high as everybody else is. Matt Miller just started at ESPN, so that kind of became a thing today. Listen, I'm not here to defend Trevor Lawrence, and we're all sunshine and rainbows and homer up around here. We're excited to have Trevor Lawrence coming to Jacksonville. But
you better defend him. You've been to his hometown, so let's go ahead and start getting.
He doesn't need my defense. I mean, people can have an opinion whether he's the better quarterback in this draft or not. I mean, you know, the old, I hate saying it, but the time will tell phrase will certainly play out here. I just can't fathom that legitimate number, like a certain amount of, maybe there's one or two folks out there, but evaluators, I think is how the word that was termed, have said, wait a minute now on Trevor Lawrence a little bit, not as high. I don't know if that's a plural, meaning like 2 or 3 or 10, you know. I don't think it's a high number is my point. I think the high number is people saying this guy's unbelievable and he checks all the boxes and find me a flaw like Todd McShay said. So it's good to have a little mix-up, though, in the conversation.
Oh, of course. It's fun. You know, it's clickbait. It gets people talking. It gets people riled up. People start to know your name a little more. Now, the guy from NFL Draft Scout that was on ESPN.
Yeah.
Miller?
Matt Miller, yeah.
Matt Miller. Okay. Yeah, he was the one that said that he's heard some teams actually have Zach Wilson above Trevor Lawrence. Now, listen. I don't know Matt Miller's sources, okay? I don't think he's talking to every single GM in the NFL and meeting with them on Zoom and saying, hey, man, who you guys going to draft this year?
Yeah.
Okay? But we got to take this into account a little bit. We're, 2.5 months away from the draft, about?
Yeah.
Give or take, I guess. Do you really mean to tell me that teams are just going to tell you what the plan is? Or Or, and hear me out, this is a crazy thought, maybe there's some gamesmanship. Maybe they're trying to pump Zach Wilson a little bit just in case there's a little trade bait going on. Like, listen, man.
Let the smoke begin.
This is the NFL, okay? It is the cutthroat of the cutthroat. It is the smoke screens of the smoke screens. So, like, for you to come out there and say, well, I've been hearing some teams are actually, have Zach Wilson ahead of Trevor Lawrence. Well, yeah, of course they're going to say that. Now, do they believe that? Probably not. But they're going to say that because guess what? If you have an opportunity, like if you like the New York Jets, let's say you like Sam Darnold, all right? Let's say the Jets go with Sam Darnold and they maybe take a wide receiver to help them out, whatever the case may be. But let's say the Jets come out and say, you know what, we like the Zach Wilson guy a little bit than Trevor Lawrence. Well, now teams are going to hear that, and one team could be like, whoa, if the Jets like Zach Wilson, we better trade up because I guess Zach Wilson's the guy to get. Like, this is, to me, this is classic gamesmanship. It's contrarianship and it's gamesmanship. One side's trying to get all the people to talk about them and saying, oh, this guy's different. Check this dude out. And obviously the NFL teams are trying to stir up the controversy a little bit and get Trevor Lawrence out of the thoughts of NFL teams.
Don't get mad at it. And this is helpful here from 3 to 6 on a Friday in late February when all the Jags are doing right now is adding more titles to everybody that belongs in the building. So this is good stuff. This is good. This is quality conversation. Also, by the way, I think it's less. Who I think it could be a team, but also with the Zach Wilson stuff. Not only might he be the best in the draft, some I quote would say, but also like Patrick Mahomes comparison. So they're almost like the dramatization of Zach Wilson. By the way, who I think is a very good player. I think he's going to be good. I really do. I like Wilson. I like Fields, and I like Trevor.
Sure.
But I just think it's interesting in the last week you started to hear some comps to the Mahomes, not just Matt Miller. I think I heard some of that being said anyway in terms of the style going all the way back to like late last week and early this week. And then on top of that, now like stuff like this being out there. I think it could be somebody sitting at like number 4, which I think is where Atlanta sits.
Yeah.
That could push some of that. It's an interesting play, or even somebody like the Eagles at 6, right? But more so, here's why Atlanta makes some sense. Say they want a guy like Justin Fields, right? Say they really value Justin Fields. And there's a lot of folks that believe, and he's a hometown guy too for Atlanta, but there's a lot of folks that believe Atlanta will get a quarterback even though they have Matt Ryan. And if they like Fields, they obviously don't want to move ahead and give up capital to get ahead of the Jets. But if they can start pumping and some of this wave, and it was kind of the conversation we talked about yesterday. Remember, I had somebody tell me if the Jags were picking number 2, they might be compelled to pick Justin Fields, even though this person in particular had said, hey, they actually do believe Zach Wilson might be better than Fields. Yeah. Like that. This was back in like October, November when the Jags were sitting in the 2-hole. So I think that conversation, that smoke, the narrative. Remember, I'll give you another example of it as you get closer and closer to the draft. Johnny Manziel was one of these guys. And the Jags actually, like late in the draft process, it came out, somebody let it out that the Jags were interested in Manziel. And that would have been, what draft would that have been? When did Manziel get picked? I'm trying to figure out who the Jags took instead. But there was a story, and I don't know if anybody's ever confirmed the story to be true or not. And sometimes legends are born. 2014 for Manziel, so that would have been the Bortles year. That's the story was the Jags had like a meeting like in the team headquarters and kind of pushed it out there a little bit in like a receiver's room or a team meeting that they might have interest. And knowing that the receivers or somebody would go back to an agent and kind of spread that word. And then, boom, that's when the word starts to trickle down.
Okay.
And so that's how it might have been born. To be honest with you, I don't know how true that is. But it just gives you a sense, whether it's true or not, gives you a sense of how some of these things could be born. Because that 2014 year, we were in New York for the draft. And I remember it was like the eve of the draft. And the Manziel stuff started to get a little hot. Like there started to be some smoke on it. And so that's when it came out. And really was kind of interesting why it would come out like that, because if the Jags were so interested in Bortles and they were going to take Bortles, well, then they were picking 3rd. They didn't need to really jump over anybody and worry about somebody coming up and getting Bortles, I don't think. But maybe they got a little bit of a scare that somebody was interested in Blake and maybe would come up against them. In hindsight, maybe they wish it happened. But
Well, listen, all I'm going to say is I think if you put any team right now in the 1 spot, and they have a choice between Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence, unequivocally, every single team is taking Trevor Lawrence.
No doubt.
Okay.
No doubt. Like we said yesterday, right?
The
In the
prosecution
AFC South
rests.
right now, look what Tannehill's done. look what Carson Wentz, well, however you believe on Carson Wentz. And I think you would even say, look at Deshaun Watson and what he's done. And I still think people right now, if they redrafted the AFC South, even over Watson, would take Trevor Lawrence right now.
Yeah.
That's how good of a prospect he is.
Yeah.
So to your point, yeah. Everybody's taking Trevor Lawrence if given the spot. But, hey, this is a fun part of this silly season and some of the stuff that might come out.
I'm gonna start a rumor. I'm gonna start an NFL draft rumor. I don't know where I should go.
Well, you should. There's no accountability, so it doesn't matter.
I know.
You're not going to lose your job. In fact, you might get promotion and maybe hired at ESPN.
Well, yeah, you better be careful because I might lose my job here and go someplace else. Yeah, so maybe I shouldn't do that for you.
Like buying Bitcoin or something.
Now we're talking.
I think we'll get more of this stuff. But I do find the one part of this that I find interesting today is if you look at every mock draft, like you just said, they have Trevor Lawrence, and they have nowhere to go. See, this is that kind of season where you almost want to, like, if you're doing a mock draft, you're a national guy with a mock draft and you get a lot of clicks on it. And that's part of the world. I don't look at that as a negative way. That's part of the world. But they do like 4 more mock drafts before the actual draft. Well, so if you have like this non-unanimous number 1 overall pick, well, then you could have put like Fields and Wilson, and I think they're going to go Lawrence, like with the Jags. Like you could have mocked them to have 3 different quarterbacks by this time. Or if you had a big-time player like Chase Young, you could have somebody jump up and say that. Well, the problem for the mock drafters is at number 1, it's really no mystery. They can't move it. Like it is that's how you know he's such a good prospect, is that nobody has anybody else but Trevor Lawrence in their mock draft, and it hasn't budged for the last couple of months, and it won't budge all the way up to the draft.
But the same thing happened last year as well.
Finally with Burrow,
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hear anybody talking about Justin Herbert at number 1.
No, but Chase Young was there, and I wouldn't be surprised if somebody said either that Cincinnati could go this way and then go get a Herbert. So I don't know. Okay. I just also don't think Burrow became that number 1 guy until later in the year after he had completed this magical season.
Sure. No, without a doubt. I mean, obviously that put him on the map. And then the national championship game say no more.
Yeah, but you're not wrong. I would think 98% of mock drafts last year had Burrow in it at this time. Right, maybe even 100. That hurts the mock drafters, though. Like the mock drafters want it to be kind of a mystery.
Cry me a river. No, I completely understand, and I even think, and maybe this is me just being paranoid, but I even think from like ESPN's perspective. Like I feel like if New York was in the number 1 spot right now, the dialogue would be, all right, how's Trevor Lawrence going to handle New York? Like how can he turn this franchise around? All this stuff. Yeah. I feel like with Jacksonville, nobody really cares. Like, what is Trevor Lawrence going to do for it? Like, no, listen, you're going to touch on Urban Meyer and stuff like that, and that's going to get, the viewership and the ratings and everything. But, like, I don't, and maybe I'm not watching enough, but, like, I don't see it where it's like, how is Trevor Lawrence going to help Jacksonville? Like, what does he mean for the city, all that stuff? Because it is a smaller market. And I feel like ESPN is in the business of big markets. And if maybe a once in, a decade quarterback comes along and he goes to a small market, they don't care because then you have to do homework. Then you have to see, like, all right, let's see the Jaguars' history. What have they been the past couple years? What do they need? What do they have on offense right now? Like, very few people can talk that game without doing research on it.
Yeah, I think you're locked in. You're in a different way locked in than I am in terms of that world. I would say this. Listen, we just yesterday talked about John Shipley and Connor Orr's Sports Illustrated article. I mean, it was a cover story on Sports Illustrated of Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence. Last Friday was Jacksonville Day of the national media. Now, some of it was not so good because of the Chris Doyle stuff, but a lot of it was focused on Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence.
A lot of it was Chris Doyle, though, too, Brent.
Well, well, they went live for an hour and talked about the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence for an hour.
Who's
on
there?
NFL Network and ESPN, too, and it was everywhere. If ESPN's carrying something live like that, well, they're talking about it the rest of the day. NFL Network did, too. So, I mean, I listened up and back to shows from Clemson. It was 2 storylines, Trevor Lawrence and Doyle, and both pertain to the Jags. So
it's just the fact that the Doyle one got more feedback.
I mean, it was more controversial. So, there wasn't very controversial about Trevor Lawrence. And that also had a head start because of Thursday. That's when the story broke on Doyle on Thursday. But my point being, I think you're right. It might be every day. Like Mike Greenberg might be talking about Trevor Lawrence more day to day if he was going to New York. 1, because he's a Jets fan, and 2, because it's New York.
Yeah.
But I don't sense I think Trevor Lawrence already brought a ton of attention to the Jaguars. I really do. And I think he's got the national people talking about him. Again, he would have had even more if it wasn't for the Doyle story. I mean, the Jags kind of messed that part up.
Sure.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. I do think at a time, too, like I would like Burrow, I think he was talked about, but once it was a foregone conclusion, people move on to say, okay, what's next? And so then from a storyline, it's like, okay, if you're ESPN or if you're NFL Network or if you're CBS Sports or you're whoever, and you say, okay, well, we know Trevor Lawrence is going to Jacksonville. We've just talked about that for a couple months. Let's now move on to who the Jets really are going to take at number 2, because that's where the draft starts.
Yeah.
The draft starts at number 2 this year. And there's also some really good debate. There's a good debate. Wilson, Fields, whoever else might jump at trades. So it'll be I think that you won't see a ton of national love for the Jags for the next couple months now, because it's a foregone conclusion that he's coming to Jacksonville. And 2, he's a little bit out of the spotlight because of the surgery. So there's not a pro day to watch. There's not an interview process that we're going to actually see. The combine isn't taking place. So I think but as the draft picks back up now, Jacksonville will become front and center once again, all built around Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 pick in April.
What I don't understand, though, because, listen, I think the overall consensus during the college football season, probably midway through, was that Justin Fields was the bona fide number 2.
Absolutely.
Everybody was talking about it.
Without question. And so much so that at the time in the season, I think there was some thought, and I think I might have even said this. I think Fields could potentially, by the time the draft rolls around, there will be narrative to say he might be the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
And that has not materialized at all. In fact, he slid back.
Yeah. So what does that show us? It shows us from the talking heads perspective and probably even like the mock drafts perspective that they're going off of the bad too. Okay?
Yeah.
Because the bad of Justin Fields when he played Indiana and the bad of Justin Fields when he played Northwestern, it was evident.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we beat that horse to death, but like we talked about it.
And a loss to Alabama, even though he didn't play poorly.
No. I mean, dude, like we talk. I mean, that was the game. I mean, he had a fractured whatever we think. So no, like that game, I think actually helped his draft stock more than hurt his draft stock. But the game against Northwestern hurt, obviously. The game against Indiana hurt him. Okay, so you want to talk about, well, we got to bring in the bad games as well. Okay, and if those bad games, if Indiana and Northwestern can drop you from the number 2 consensus to maybe the number 3, maybe the number 4, or do I dare say the number 5 pick out of quarterbacks? Well, then we got to talk about what was the bad that Trevor Lawrence, like, what bad did Trevor Lawrence show us? Was it the Syracuse game? I mean, okay, that wasn't that bad, though. Was it the national championship game? Because I'll echo, that wasn't a bad game. So if we want to say right now that Zach Wilson could overtake Trevor Lawrence or someone thinks this, okay, but then you got to show me. You have to show me why you say that. You have to show me the bad. Because guess what? I can show you the good. I can show you all the highlights. I can show you the national championship that he won against Alabama as a freshman. But then show me the bad.
Yeah, I guess in that same context, though, people would say Patrick Mahomes shouldn't have been picked 13th or wherever he went. He should have been picked number 1 overall. And if you had that same conversation then, you would have seen bad from Mahomes.
But I'll be honest.
He didn't even have a winning record.
Yeah, but was Mahomes bad? I mean, I don't know what Mahomes bad looks like. I'll be honest. Like, I don't know if he had a lot of interceptions. I really have no idea. I know the team was bad. The guys around him were bad. But I'm saying I'm not sure Patrick Mahomes is bad in college.
Yeah, I'm sure he had a bad game. Versus the others.
Yeah.
And they were quarterback. Obviously, Deshaun Watson didn't have a lot of bad at Clemson with one national championship. So the bottom line when it gets to this is, Fields is an interesting study right now. I think people are actually putting more weight, it seems like, in Fields playing poorly against Northwestern and Indiana than playing well and out-dueling Trevor Lawrence against Clemson. Mm-hmm. He looked better that day. And I don't know if they're giving enough stock to that because of the 2 performances. So it is interesting in that respect how Fields' bad is kind of being, being talked about a little bit more, or at least it appears. Listen, I still think there's a really good chance Justin Fields goes number 2 to Jets. I think there's no foregone conclusion, in my opinion, that Zach Wilson's going to be the number 2 guy. Mm-hmm. I also don't think I'd have much of a problem if he's a number 2 guy. I can see why people like Zach Wilson. I do think he's more boom or bust, but I think the boom could be pretty damn good.
So if you want to go by, let's see here. I'm trying to see the worst game here
Yeah,
Patrick
you got to
Mahomes.
be really careful with numbers.
I mean, yeah.
You know?
I mean, listen, the worst game his last year for Patrick Mahomes was he threw 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. That was probably the worst game. And then before that, before that, he actually had 1 game where he threw 4 interceptions. That was young in his career, obviously, but 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions against Oklahoma.
Well, keep in mind that part of the process of dropping a guy like Mahomes, he still was top half of the first round.
Yeah.
But not being like this consensus guy was 1 misevaluation, and was 2, Texas Tech was Texas Tech.
True.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, and listen, BYU's a hell of a lot better program than Texas Tech.
Yeah.
So for Zach Wilson, he doesn't have that stigma even with a BYU. Now, if he was playing for like San Diego State, people would really question.
Yeah.
But that's why we see quarterbacks sometimes come from these small schools, because I think we dismiss some of that.
Yeah.
Like the Eastern Illinois of the world have, 2 of them, right? Romo and Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Did Sean Payton come out of there too? I think Sean Payton came out of there too.
Yep.
So, obviously the coach. But the Zach Wilson stuff's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
And he's not the number 1 quarterback. I don't even know if he's the number 2 quarterback.
No. It's not
I do think he's a number 3 quarterback. I would take him over Trey Lance. And at the end of the day, that might work out. You have to do a deep dive evaluation on Lance that I can't even do.
Where do you think Mac Jones fits in that?
I tell you, man, it just depends who you read. It's very that's a polarizing one, is Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Some people are absolutely in love with Mac.
Yeah.
Because of the deep. Did you see the June Jones comment? Like, he has him higher than Trevor Lawrence.
I saw that.
Because of the deep ball. I mean, that's one element of the game. That seems a little far-fetched, and I love Mac, and I'm glad he's from Jacksonville. He's doing well, but come on. And then there are others that just want to completely stay away from Mac Jones. Mm-hmm. He is an interesting guy. I think Zach Wilson's very interesting, but I think Zach Wilson's going to go in the top 10, top 6, top 7. Mac Jones, I think, could go anywhere from pick 6 to pick, 32. I think he's really interesting in this year's draft, maybe the most interesting quarterback in the NFL draft. Urban Meyer not getting a lot of national love. Speaking of that, I'll tell you why, where the evidence is, and that's coming back at Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
Have the umbrella and a jacket handy today. It'll turn much cooler with on and off rain diminishing by late in the day, but temperatures falling into the 50s. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30. Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where right now you can get 5 years, 0-interest financing with nothing down.
In the know, I'm Smitha Rao. As the coronavirus pandemic continues throughout the fall and winter, overlapping with flu season, Dr. Eduardo Sanchez, American Heart Association Chief Medical Officer for Prevention, says that getting a flu vaccine is more important than ever.
The flu is serious and can even cause death. If you get the flu right now, you may need to be hospitalized in an already overwhelmed healthcare system. Get your flu shot and stay out of the hospital due to the flu.
It is important for everyone to get a flu vaccine, but especially important for seniors, children, pregnant women, and people with underlying risk factors such as heart disease, stroke, and diabetes.
The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and you can get it at places that are taking extra safety measures like your doctor's office, pharmacy, or even community pop-up centers. As with COVID-19, wearing a mask, washing your hands often, and social distancing helps to prevent the spread of the flu.
For more, go to heart.org/flu prevention.
Sponsored locally by Florida Blue.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar & Levine. Our team can help you understand your legal options after an accident. We will file your claim and fight for the full compensation you deserve. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
This message is sponsored by the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Are you curious about marijuana? Florida A&M University established the Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, also known as MARY, to educate the public about medical marijuana use as well as the detrimental health and social impacts of unlawful marijuana use on local communities. Find out more at mmeri.famu.edu.
In Florida, it's not if the storms are coming, it's when the storms are coming. And that's why you need the Chief. Jacksonville's chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish, with a proven track record of keeping local families safe. Rain, heat, hurricanes, flooding, tornadoes. We get it all. Just more reasons why you need the Chief. Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, backed by the First Alert Weather Team. Only on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
If you love golf or know somebody who does, you need to get this deal. 8 rounds of golf for less than $12 per round plus cart fees with a Dream 18 golf card at great area golf courses like St. John's Golf and Country Club, Amelia River Golf Club, and Eagle Landing Golf Club. And this isn't just a golf card. Get a free shirt from Baker Sports, a free hat at Dome Hats, and a free smoothie from Smoothie King, plus 15% off any purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. Go to ESPN690.com to purchase the Dream 18 card for $95. Hundreds of dollars in savings and the perfect gift.
Have you seen it? The all-new showroom at Arlington Toyota is open, and they're ready to celebrate with big savings, even on pre-owned. Celebrate savings and hearing the words, "You're approved." That's right. With Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, almost everyone is approved. Plus, if you want selection, Arlington's got it. With over 400 pre-owned on the lot, what are you waiting for? Celebrate with savings and come see the brand new facility at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
My NFL MVP is Russell Wilson halfway through the season. Plus, like Kyler Murray, has impressed me most. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Brent Martineau.
Daniel says we went from hot Cheetos to shampoo, raising the intellectual portion of the show.
Austin Lane. I'm wearing a sleeveless t-shirt. What more do you want from us, man?
It's Friday.
We never said we're intellectual.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Hey, let's pump the brakes on this Trevor Lawrence kid a little bit, because while he has been anointed for the past 3 years as the future and savior of football, Zach Wilson, a lot like Joe Burrow last year, really had that ascension in his final year. Things clicked for him. You saw the numbers, the 33 touchdowns while cutting down on his turnovers. And the thing you hear from people around the NFL is this name, Patrick Mahomes, a player who can work off platform, who can drift from the offensive line, that has the arm strength to make up some of those things. And for Zach Wilson, people look at Kyler Murray, they look at Patrick Mahomes, they look at Aaron Rodgers and say, this is where the NFL is going. It's no longer the 6'6" drop back quarterback.
Did he call Trevor Lawrence a drop back quarterback?
I think he did. And by the way, did he just put Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and Kyler Murray in the same sentence?
I like that a lot. I mean, you know how I feel about it. I'm completely indifferent now to Kyler Murray. I'm over it. We had our fun. We got second place in fantasy football. It is what it is now. But yeah, I don't think Trevor Lawrence is a drop back passer per se.
Yeah, I don't think that's the book on Trevor.
I would say career-wise, I'm sure Trevor's played more games than Zach Wilson, but I bet Trevor Lawrence has more rushing yards than Zach Wilson.
Oh, that's a good call.
So
look it up.
Who's the drop back? Okay. Give me 2 seconds, Brent.
I like Zach Wilson. I think he's going to be good. Do you think he's going to be good? I keep saying that. I haven't heard you say that. You think Zach Wilson's going to be good?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched a lot of Zach Wilson film, so I literally have no idea.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good opinion.
How many Zach Wilson games you watched?
I watched like 4.
4 of them?
Yeah.
Okay. Who'd he play?
Well, because he started getting hot And so there's some late night games on like Friday night for BYU, and maybe it was probably Saturday night too. And then obviously, the Coastal Carolina game. The Coastal Carolina game comes with criticism because like you couldn't beat Coastal Carolina, and that's all you did against Coastal Carolina. But I'll still say, man, if you that's why you don't get too wrapped up in numbers sometimes, because if you watch some of the throws he makes in that game, and some of the athleticism, I just think we're so harsh on some of these guys now that it's like if they make a mistake or a poor decision or one play, it's like that's the kind of, oh, hell, I don't want that guy. That's not how I feel about it. Same thing goes for Fields. That's why I didn't get off the train necessarily in the Indiana Northwestern game, although the Northwestern one to me was a lot more alarming. To see him struggle the way he did.
For sure.
Because I actually looked at, I thought he had a bad look that day, like a not very confident look.
Yeah.
And it almost jumped off the TV at me. So I look for more. I'm not a judge of arm strength and all that other stuff. So I look for those kind of some different things. And I like what I see in Zach Wilson.
Sure.
I like what I see overall in Justin Fields.
Like to me, when I think I saw like 2 or 3 Zach Wilson games. I watched the Coastal Carolina one. I remember I watched the first game they played Navy where they absolutely blew them out. And then I think I might have watched the Troy might have been kind of like 3rd or 4th game of the season. And I remember thinking yeah, this kid's good, but I have no idea how good Troy. We want to say, well, Trevor Lawrence is good because he's got the talent around him to be good. Okay, but as far as the competition that Zach Wilson's played, that probably has to be brought into perspective as well.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So that's kind of where I went with it. But no, I think listen, he's got the wheels, he's got the arm. Seems to have the leadership capabilities. He's got all the makings to be a fantastic quarterback. But like I said, I'm on Team Trevor. All right. So here we go. The college stats in terms of rushing, Brent. You wanted it, and you're about to get it. Okay. So total rushing yards. And you want to go career or year by year? How do you want to do this? Because obviously they haven't played the same amount of games. All right, last year. Last year, Trevor Lawrence played in 10 games, had 203 yards rushing.
Okay, 20.3 yards a game.
Yes, correct. 8 touchdowns. Now, the year before that was kind of the outlier, though, because he had 500 yards rushing.
Wow.
563, but whatever. Zach Wilson, last year, let's see, he had 70 attempts, 254 yards rushing, and 10 touchdowns. So that's a 3.6 average.
So
3.6 average.
Trevor Lawrence, better runner.
I mean, he's got, if you want to go by the junior year, it's not even close. Trevor Lawrence blew him out the water.
But even this past year.
Correct.
Just yards per game. Yeah, it's just, so that's a misnomer. 6'6" guy versus little guy that looks like he can run around.
Well, I wouldn't call Trevor Lawrence a backup, or a drop-back quarterback.
Yeah. Zach, that's the beauty of Trevor Lawrence. He can play in they say he can play in any system.
Yeah.
He's got so many check-the-box things that he can play in any system.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing about, we get, it's funny, sometimes you get in trouble for stereotyping in our world.
Yeah.
But then it's okay to stereotype in sports in some spots.
Yeah.
And it's acceptable.
Yeah.
I say this all the time about Mac Jones. Mac Jones is being, it's assumed that the Patriots want Mac Jones because he kind of looks like Brady and he's a white quarterback that's not very athletic.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
I feel like that's why people link him to the Patriots.
Yep.
Now, the Patriots also need a quarterback, and there's also the Saban-Belichick thing. But I think the unspoken part of that is he's a white guy that's not very athletic, and they just had that guy for 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's as simple as that. Well, Zach Wilson, he is kind of this fun-looking guy. He's got the bandana, right, the headband thing going. He kind of reminds you a little bit of Jim McMahon. But you know what else he kind of reminds you of? The way he can sling it and a little backyard in him is who? Johnny Manziel.
Sure.
And Johnny Manziel could run a little bit, right? That's what when you envision Johnny Manziel playing football, you envision him kind of running around.
Yep.
Well, I think that's what people do with Zach Wilson. You picture 6'6" quarterback. You look at guys that don't run very well.
Mm-hmm.
And so our mind automatically just assumes that without looking up some of the numbers sometimes. Hey, big news. Big news. Kardashian and Kanye. Done. I say Kardashian because I have no idea which one it is.
Kim.
There you go.
Kimberly, yes.
Kimberly.
Kim Kardashian. No, it's Kim Kardashian.
Is she allowed to call you Kim?
Say it again?
Kimberly or Kim?
No, it's Kim Kardashian.
It's over.
I guess. This is coming from the studio himself. This is coming from Coos.
TMZ is reporting it. I'm checking with my sources.
Okay. And,
I haven't heard back. I haven't heard back.
Listen, I mean, obviously, I'm sure divorces can be tough. I wouldn't really know, but I'm sure they can be tough, and I hopefully, both sides come out better. But I'm excited to get Kanye West back.
So does this mean now that if Kanye and Kim are divorced, is this a better or worse chance he runs for president?
I don't think he's going to run for president. I just think that was more of a hype kind of thing for like an album or something. I don't think Kanye West is going to run for president. I think that Kanye West is going to go back to the Beat Laboratory and start dropping some bangers, Brent. That's what we need.
So is this going to be kind of like, what's her name? Country?
Taylor
Swift, where now Kanye is going to come with a whole album about his relationship with Kim Kardashian.
Oh, no. I mean, he might drop a couple there. Well, let's be honest. I mean, the last album was a gospel album from Kanye West. So there's no telling what he's going to do next. But I just feel like, and with all due respect to the Kardashians, but I just feel like when people date the Kardashians, they take L's in their career. Because I can go over the list if you want to.
Kanye West, Chris Humphries,
Miles Austin. What happened to Miles Austin?
I don't see him on the Wikipedia list.
Oh, well, come on, man. You can't go to Wikipedia. You have to go with what you read in the tabloids.
Who's Damon Thomas?
No idea, man. You remember Miles Austin? Wide receiver for the. Remember, he was
Dallas.
big. Yeah. He dated her when he was like big time.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, what happened to him? We don't know. Reggie Bush, obviously. Nick Lachey. What happened to Nick Lachey? What's Nick Lachey doing right now? Is he with the Masked Singer or whatever? Is he doing that? Probably.
Oh, is he?
I don't know. I don't watch that show.
Are these all people that dated Kim Kardashian
Correct.
or any of the Kardashians?
They all dated Kim Kardashian.
Where does Lamar Odom fit in? Which one's that?
He dated Khloe Kardashian.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
That hasn't worked out too well either.
No, listen, man. I mean, who did Tiger date? Like, I can't believe we're getting into this Kardashian stuff right now. Who did Tiger date?
Tiger dated Kardashian?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they did.
Oh, man. All right. I mean, I guess I'm on the wrong show here. I could have swore Tiger dated it. Do you know who Tiger is, Brent? Probably not, but I'm looking it up right.
Oh, Tyga. I thought you were saying Tiger, like
I
Tiger
know.
Woods.
Tiger.
Tyga.
I was in sports mode, and I wasn't thinking.
Tyga. No, Tyga.
He dated
Kylie. What's he doing now?
Jenner. That's not Kardashian.
What is Tyga doing now? Yeah, but it's like
he's huge,
Kylie
though.
Jenner's a Kardashian.
I agree.
Yeah.
But Tyga's doing really well.
With what?
His album, his merch. He teamed up with McDonald's.
Well, that's good that Tyga and Tiger are both doing really well.
Yeah.
Who's more overrated, Kimmy K or Paris Hilton, says Clint?
Who's more overrated?
Yeah.
Dude, Kim Kardashian all day. Because Paris Hilton's a club DJ. What does Kim Kardashian bring to the table?
What
Makeup?
happened to Paris Hilton?
Eyelashes. She's getting married.
Is she?
Kuz, you disagree?
I just feel like the Kardashians are in a lot of entrepreneurial stuff. Like makeup, like you were saying. I mean, Kendall just dropped the tequila. Like they're all over the place.
How did the Kardashians get famous in the first place?
I know.
And go.
Their dad.
It was the OJ trial stuff, right? That's her dad?
Yeah.
I'm asking, how did Kim Kardashian and her sisters get famous in the first place?
Wasn't it like a reality show?
No.
Kind of.
That was Paris Hilton.
It's kind of reality.
It was kind of a reality show in a way.
I have no idea.
Okay,
I don't pay attention. You guys I already feel more stupid than I normally feel just by talking about it for 4 minutes.
This is an off the air.
No, it's not. Listen, there was let's just call it a tape. All right.
Oh, okay.
She made a tape.
Yeah, all right.
And that's how the Kardashians became famous.
Yeah, this wasn't Watergate tape either.
It wasn't Watergate tape. It was a different kind of tape. And that's how the Kardashians became famous. Now, Paris Hilton, like, let's be honest, she became famous. Well, her dad's obviously Hilton.
Yeah. But
she became famous too because what was the show with her and the other girl? The singer's daughter. I don't know, man. We're going down a road I really want to go down, but she was on a reality TV show on Fox.
I remember that show.
It wasn't the Sweet Life, something like the Charm, whatever. Something Life. I feel like is in there. Nicole Richie, by the way. The Simple Life, and I feel like Paris Hilton kind of blew up from that. So, who's more talented? Well, one group made a tape, and the other one was on Fox and became famous. So you be the judge.
Nicole Richie was.
Nicole Richie, yeah.
Very interesting. I was trying to spin this to sports. Is there a Kardashian comparison in sports?
Well, we could go with Kendall Jenner just announced that she's dating Devin Booker, and Devin Booker plays for the Suns. So
they're dating?
Go. Oh yeah.
Oh no, Devin.
They've been dating for a while though.
Okay. Well, and his game hasn't dropped that much. And then the other one's dating Travis Barker. You don't know Travis Barker? He's the drummer from Blink-182.
Yeah.
Very good.
Tattoos and mohawk and stuff.
I know 182, didn't know the drummer's name.
He's like one of the best drummers in the world considered. People.
For sure.
I don't know.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Or bad for him because he's dating a Kardashian.
I mean, I think it's good for him
now
because
he can't play the drums anymore.
I mean, all of a sudden he's just gonna lose all his drum prowess. No, I don't know. I think he's gonna be okay.
Is this what you talk about all the time on the other station? This stuff.
A little bit of that, yeah. I mean, I was talking more today about Tim McGraw and Faith Hill selling their $35 million island. Is that more what's the biggest This is what I was talking about. That's the biggest money flex you can do is buy an island, right? Like when you're rich, that's the biggest way to flex your cash.
That would be pretty sweet.
I saw photos. It looked awesome.
Kuz, would you say the Kardashians are probably the most powerful family in the country, at least? I mean, probably. I'm sure there's... Yeah, you think so?
Probably.
You think so, Brent? Most powerful family?
They can launch anything, and people will buy it just because they like them.
What's so funny is about what you guys... By the way, I don't know how to answer your question. I don't know the answer to that.
It's all good, man.
But it feels like to me, outside world that doesn't even know their names because I just don't pay attention to any of it, that the view of the Kardashians is negative. Yet you sit here, Kuz, and say anytime they put their name on something, people buy it like it's going out of style.
Well, listen.
Like, we live in weird worlds.
Yeah, we live in weird world, but listen, are the Kardashians sometimes a train wreck? Well, you see that on TV. But if you drive past an accident, you gonna just look straight ahead, or you gonna check it out and see what happened?
It's very true. I said this to my buddy today. I said, if you are shameless, really, seriously, this is good for you if you can be. If you're just absolutely shameless, you have a chance to make a ton of money.
You can go very far if you don't care about what people think about you.
ESPN 690 OnlyFans. Let's go.
Almost. There's a lot of people that don't care exactly what they think about you to a degree, but you got to go off the edge. I don't care what people think about me.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you seriously have a chance to make a lot of money in today's world.
I should look into that because I really don't care, but I got to up it up a little bit more. I don't know what I can do.
But you almost have to go to things that what can I do that actually people will judge me for, and I'm going to make a point to do it.
Political.
And still not care.
Get political.
But I say that. I think politically, you could say that from Cruz to the late now Rush Limbaugh to even on the Howard Stern. I mean, he didn't give a crap what people have. He made a living for that, doing that. He'd say whatever the heck he wants.
Well, and Howard Stern celebrated for that.
Yeah.
I mean, Rush Limbaugh.
People are celebrated in a way, so much so that they make a ton of money.
But the cool thing with Howard Stern, it was not really political, though. It was just craziness.
But I said from a political standpoint, from a social standpoint, from a media standpoint, if you go off the rate, if you just go nuts and don't care about what people think, that's what we need to start doing.
Yeah, but I have a boss that tells me I can't swear on the radio. So what do you want me to do, man?
I know.
I got to watch my P's and Q's.
So instead, we'll just talk about football more.
All right.
When we come back on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Friday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The NFL QB carousel is starting a little bit early this year, with the Philadelphia Eagles sending former first-rounder Carson Wentz to Indy for a 2021 third-rounder and a conditional 2022 second-round pick that could turn into a first-rounder. Here's Mina Kimes, ESPN NFL analyst, on who got the best deal.
What just happened is a quarterback who is arguably the worst starter in the NFL last year, or bottom five, just compelled his employer to eat $34 million in dead cap and forced his way onto a better team. The winner of this trade is Carson Wentz.
And more details unfolding in the tragic death of Vincent Jackson. After the autopsy, the medical examiner says he may have died up to 3 days before the body was found. His family has donated his brain to the Boston University CTE Center. The Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Cease and desist.
You gotta love lawyer talk, don't you? I got a letter from the competitor's lawyer accusing us of stealing all their best people. They demanded that we cease and desist. The ugly truth is that the other company was actively driving away their best people. Management didn't treat them right, so they voted with their feet. And most of those plumbers and techs initially hired on somewhere else other than Griffin Service. Except those somewhere else companies weren't any better in terms of how they mistreated their people. So a few of those guys came to work for me at Griffin Service, where I absolutely gave them the respect and appreciation they deserved. Then word got around.
If you want the best job you'll ever have, come work for Tom at Griffin Service.
That's good news for amazing AC techs and plumbers, and bad news for my competitors and their lawyers. Because I'm not going to stop revolutionizing the AC and plumbing industries here in Jacksonville, and I'll never cease and desist from treating my people and my customers the way they deserve.
GriffinService.com.
License number 1250697.
Hey, boss, check this out. You're never home alone and you're never away from home with Safe Touch.
What now? Never home alone. Now that one I get. It's because of the two-way communicator.
Yup. Any emergency and you're talking with the operator in seconds.
Right. Never home alone. Yeah, but what about this never away from home thing?
See, with Safe Touch's smart home automation, you can control your house from anywhere.
What, is it that smartphone thingy again?
Yeah, with the Safe Touch app, you can check your camera feeds, turn on the lights, drop the AC down, lock the doors. Boss, it's like you're there.
Never away from home. Never home alone, never away from home. This changes nothing. I still hate Safe Touch, and we still gotta stick to the Crooks or Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. I need an aspirin.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Hi, my name is Christina Clossie. I'm the CFO at Web.com Group, and I'm proud to serve as chair of the First Coast American Heart Association's 2021 Go Red for Women campaign. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of women, and too many women remain unaware. We encourage all women to live fierce and be relentless in taking charge of their health. To learn more or get involved, visit firstcoastgored.heart.org.
I should have my kid tell you about Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. It's Ty's favorite burger in town. Make it one of your favorites as well. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food has 3 locations now: Atlantic Beach, Mandarin, and downtown Jacksonville. Change your life burgers. But they have salads, pizza, and much more on the menu, too. Let Jumpin' Jack's House of Food be your great neighbor. Lunch or dinner with the family, or they will cater parties from 200 to 500 people. Jumpin' Jack's, HOF.com for online ordering. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food, open 7 days a week.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
The hardest part of any goal is oftentimes getting started. All month long, we're going to help you get started on the path for a happier you for free and without even leaving your home. If your business would like to get involved, visit GetStartedJax.com. That's GetStartedJax.com.
Ryan Clark has been saying it for 2 years and nobody cares. Maybe that's not true because I just got an extension, but I'm just in my feelings. Listen, I've been saying these same things to you guys for a very long time. And it's not that I don't think Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback. I just don't think he's a savior. I don't necessarily think he's a can't-miss All-Pro Hall of Fame level quarterback. And some of those things that Matt is saying about Zach Wilson, they're intriguing, right? This is where the game is moving. Somebody being able to throw off platform. Also, watching a guy play, not necessarily with the best skill players around him, and seeing him elevate those guys. And maybe it's this purple jacket that I wear and the reasons that I wear it. I cannot get out of my mind of Trevor Lawrence walking into the stadium and facing Joe Burrow and being totally outplayed.
Ryan Clark. But who's saying he's going to be a Hall of Famer or even an All-Pro? Like, what I heard was the comparison is Andrew Luck. How many times was Andrew Luck an All-Pro? Take a guess, Brent.
You going to tell me none?
None.
Was he really?
Never an All-Pro.
That surprises me.
Well, he's never a first-team All-Pro. Now, I don't know if second or third, whatever. I don't know how deep that goes. But he was never a first-team All-Pro.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, listen, the comparisons to those guys coming out are how they were viewed when they were going from college to the pros in terms of how many boxes they checked and the kind of player people thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
Now, in hindsight, those guys end up having great careers. So, if Andrew Luck keeps playing, he goes to the Hall of Fame. Peyton Manning Hall of Fame, John Elway Hall of Fame. They won a lot. So there's a lot that still needs to be done. And quite frankly, Andrew Luck's career doesn't live up to Peyton Manning's or John Elway's. Never won big. And obviously the longevity now is a big topic. So I think it's just the Andrew Luck part of the comparison, who was very good and everybody would sign up for even now. And some people say Trevor Lawrence, it's the only guy that he's not rated as high as is Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck was rated that high coming out of school in terms of everything, checking the boxes and intangibles, all the stuff. So I think it's really, you just got to, now, when you say generational, you mean a guy that could make it to the Hall of Fame someday and be all pros and all the rest. So
Sure.
I think that part is assumed. What's really interesting is just these one games. I mean, this guy has played a ton of football.
Yeah.
So while Ryan Clark, again, he didn't say he's going to be bad, but the thing that sticks out to him is one game out of what he was 38-2 in college, out of 40.
Yeah.
So that's one. And by the way, here's the knock. This is one of those things on Lawrence where you get picked apart for some of your games in big, like the semifinal. Well, I think I didn't do this part. I went back and looked at, there were like 9 games where I thought it was a close game for Clemson or a big game for Clemson. And he played in 9 of those, and a bunch of them were in the semifinals or ACC championship game or even the national championship game. And, if you look at his numbers, they were pretty good.
Yeah.
He had 2, maybe by his standard, again, subpar performances. I would suspect those 9 games, judging a player of this magnitude on those 9 games, nobody else has that sample size. Very few quarterbacks get the opportunity to play in that many games. Why did they get the opportunity to play in that many games? Because of Trevor Lawrence and a very good Clemson program. But you can go back to so many players, and you could do this same experiment, and you would never find that much of a sample size. Like Joe Burrow, great. He played well on that level for 2 games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He played in that magnitude of game.
Yes.
Now, he had some SEC games that were big, too.
Yeah, I mean,
SEC championship. So it might be 3 or 4 even. This one magical season where most people believe it's one of the best offenses of all time. And that's not to take anything away from Burrow. But again, that is half or even a third of the sample size that we're talking about Trevor Lawrence. Again, there's 7, 8, 9 of these huge games that he played in because of the success he's had in his career.
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying that Trevor Lawrence is going to come in here and be an all-pro. I expect eventually a Pro Bowler. We'll see. We'll see what the situation dictates. But, I guess the whole term savior. Now, I've called Trevor Lawrence the savior before, and I think he's going to be the savior. And the reason why I say he's going to be the savior is because, listen, a savior is someone who can save you from danger or, make things better. The optics and just the quarterback play here the past decade and a half, let's just call it, how has that been?
Yeah.
How has that worked for the Jacksonville Jaguars? Not that good. So if you mean to tell me right now that you can bring in the first pick of the draft and Trevor Lawrence, who we've seen many times like you've alluded to in college, and he can come play for the Jacksonville Jaguars, well, yeah, there's going to be an idea that he's probably going to be the savior of this franchise just because we haven't seen a lot of good quarterback play. We think Trevor Lawrence is going to be a pretty good quarterback. To me, that's a savior.
If over the next 5 years, the Jacksonville Jaguars go 50-30. 50-30. Okay? Doesn't sound like anything crazy. But if they go 50-30, you'd go back in 5 years and be like, Trevor Lawrence has been the savior of this organization. You'd use that because what have the Jags done the last 5 years, really the last 10 years, really the last 15 years? And it hasn't even been close to that. And by the way, 50-30 would be like a 10-6 average. That's damn hard to do. Sure. That's hard to do in the NFL.
Yeah.
And it would be very good. to do that. So, and by the way, it's probably going to get off to a somewhat rocky start. So he'd have to win big in the next few years to even offset that rocky start of maybe a 5 or 6 or maybe at best a 7-win season in 2021. So listen, we throw around those kind of words, but there's no doubt everybody understands the context. When we say that, it might sound like an over-dramatization, but everybody knows that he has a chance to flip the franchise because they've never had this guy. And very few organizations get a chance to potentially have a guy that is this talented of a prospect. And that's the moral of the story. I think we get caught up in the semantics of it all. And that's where we're at. That's where we're at in the draft process. We've talked so much about it. We'll talk so much about it. You're going to have these Matt Millers, Ryan Clarks nitpicking to a point. The bottom line is, if Ryan Clark and Matt Miller were taking the number 1 pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars in April, they both would pick Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
And don't believe them for a second.
Or they'd be fired on the spot. Or they'd be fired on the spot, yeah.
They wouldn't. They would not pick Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Neither one of them. Guarantee it. So don't believe that. By the way, we had a question on the line. It was Watson or Lawrence, who's the better prospect, right?
Yeah, coming out of college.
No doubt Lawrence. Remember, Watson came with some, I don't know about him. Well, he's turned out to be unbelievable.
Sure.
But he wasn't this can't-miss guy.
Correct.
Without question. In fact, I wasn't that high on Watson coming up, to be honest with you. I wasn't.
Yeah.
It's huge, but I loved him in college. But it wasn't, it's going to translate. I was wrong. I mean, he's been really, really good, obviously, for Houston and hopefully for another team now. We'll be back on Action Sports Jackson, ESPN 690.
Here in the Sunshine State, we live in 2 time zones. We cheer for 3 NFL teams. We have over 3 million men over the age of 45, and over half suffer from ED or PE. If you're having problems in the bedroom, you'll see results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center, guaranteed, where your consultation is free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Brown. If pills like Viagra have let you down, Prime Men's Medical Center has custom blended medications to help you last longer in the bedroom, regardless of age or past medical history, with no pain and no surgery. You'll see results right in the office, guaranteed, or your exam is free. Patients are now lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Contact Prime Men's Medical Center to schedule a private consultation. Call 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
Have you seen it? I'm talking about the all-new showroom at Arlington Toyota, where they're celebrating with savings all month long. What are you waiting for? Right now at Arlington, take your pick. A new 2021 Corolla LE or a new 2021 Camry LE. You choose. 0 down or buy for just $249 a month. This is a purchase, not a lease. Celebrate with savings and come see the new showroom at Arlington Toyota today. Shop safely in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/February for full details.
As a parent or grandparent, deep down, do you worry that your child may not be able to defend him or herself if bullied? That they may be introverted, too attached to electronic devices, and their grades are suffering? Karate America teaches 7 steps designed to ensure a lifetime of success for your child or grandchild in a safe, sanitized environment with all necessary precautions taken to prevent COVID. Please visit karateamerica.info to fill out a survey and learn if they can help your child.
The United States has the highest rate of incarceration in the world. At the Equal Justice Initiative, we believe mass incarceration has to end. There is this presumption of dangerousness and guilt that gets assigned to Black and brown people. We have to confront our history of racial injustice and commit to a new era of truth. There's something better waiting for us, something that feels more like freedom. Truth can inspire change. Please learn more at EJI.org.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune into Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
There are so many razors out there. How do you choose which one's right for you? Well, at Dollar Shave Club, we got you. With a 6-blade cartridge for daily shavers with short hair and a 4-blade cartridge for less frequent shavers with longer hair. Still confused? Well, we put both blades in one new starter box, so you can test drive both. Check out dollarshaveclub.com/ESPN, dollarshaveclub.com/ESPN, and visit DSE at your nearest store. You've got questions, we got answers. Welcome to the club.
Now at a store near you.
I'm Doug Brown. The NCAA announces today a limited number of fans will be allowed at the men's basketball tournament. 25% capacity for all rounds, including the Final Four. The entire tournament will be played in Indiana, with most of the games in Indianapolis. Cutting 3 more players today, the Carolina Panthers have cleared almost $20 million in cap space this week. Today, the team releases defensive lineman Stephen Weatherly, safety Trey Boston, and punter Michael Pilardi. Could they be getting ready to make an offer for Deshaun Watson? NFL Network analyst Steve Smith Sr.
My question is, what are they going to have to give up, and how are they going to fix some of the other issues that they have? Lack of depth, lack of experience in some of the other areas that they need help and improvement on.
ESPN has learned the NBA will likely let teams see the proposed schedule for the rest of the season as early as next week. For now, the league has only scheduled games through March 4th. 3:30 a.m. Eastern on ESPN, Osaka and Brady for the Australian Open women's title.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
I think the Colts are much better than that, and I think they will be much better. For all of the criticism that I have offered of Carson Wentz, and I take back none of it. Having said all of that, I still believe in him, and he's gone to exactly the right place. He managed to get exactly what he wanted. He couldn't have done it any worse, but he got exactly what he wanted.
That is Mike Greenberg talking about Carson Wentz. I don't agree with the guy, everybody that says Carson Wentz just makes them this so much better. I tend to think Phillip Rivers last year would be better than Carson Wentz will be this year for him. Phillip Rivers was pretty good. A lot of blind faith in Carson Wentz and too many eggs in the basket of Frank Reich and Carson Wentz, in my opinion. And maybe it works out. Listen, again, I would like Carson Wentz. I hope I guess in the AFC South, kind of hope he finds it. But I'm just not convinced it's going to work as much as everybody else. I mean, you change scenery and everybody's like, okay, well, that guy's not going to play like that anymore. That's not automatic now. Certainly not automatic. So we'll see what Frank Reich can get out of him. Carolina seems to be dumping a lot of cash, maybe to make room for a Deshaun Watson trade, is what people have been talking about the last 48 hours or so. We will see. You know, we talk about the national folks, and most of them, by the way, are, I would say 98% of them on board for Trevor Lawrence. Really good player. Jags can help turn them around, all this stuff. They're not as sold on Urban Meyer and that part of the equation. And by the way, I think this has little to do with actual last week's events with Chris Doyle. I think even prior to and now.
But it hasn't helped, though.
Well, it certainly hasn't helped.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting topic. I almost want to get away. I would bring this topic up as far away from the Doyle stuff because in this case, for me, it's unrelated. I just think this was the feel anyway. I think there's hesitation on the part of the national analysts, the media. I think there's even hesitation on some former players and former coaches. That NFL, kind of what I've talked about last month or so, that fraternity of the NFL saying this is the big boy league now.
Yeah,
right? And you even heard that. I think it was Rex Ryan that might have said
Ryan
that.
Did, yep.
So I do think that exists. I'm not even saying that unfairly exists. I'm just pointing out that I'm a little bit surprised there isn't a little more belief in Meyer knowing his track record of college. Everybody, instead of going to a successful example, wants to go to the Nick Saban example. And, well, that's a bit of a compliment to Meyer because Saban is considered one of the greats of all time in college, right? And Meyer is on that list in terms of winning percentage, in terms of what he's been able to do at Ohio State and Florida, and even Utah and Bowling Green. So he's put himself on that list, and so therefore the comp, right? The Pete Carroll thing, which is one I actually compare him to a little bit more at this juncture of his life, at this juncture of the Jags, kind of what they're trying to do, what Seattle did. The problem with that comparison is Pete Carroll had some previous NFL experience, and quite a bit of it, quite frankly. So it's not an apples-to-apples comparison. Are you surprised at all that the national folks have less faith in Urban Meyer being successful in the NFL?
Okay, so I have to preface it by this. Are we talking national folks right now in terms of like the media? Or are we talking national folks like former football players and the coaches? Because to me, there's two different arguments here. And there's two different paths.
I'd like to hear them both because I just kind of lump them all in. I mean, I'm talking about different analysts that are former players, analysts that are coaches. People.
Okay, so to me, it's different. To me, if you want to talk about like what gives Rex Ryan the reason to say that, hey, Urban Meyer, welcome to the big boy league now, okay? Whether you're a coach or a former coach, they all have the same thing in common. They think that they're the best to ever do it. And they think that they have all the answers, right? Including Rex Ryan. So when Rex Ryan sees Urban Meyer come out, and like, let's be honest, Urban Meyer is like the young, hot upstart right now. Now, not necessarily in age, because Sean McVay, when he came on the scene, or Cliff Kingsbury, is a better argument there.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, from coming from the college game to the professional game, like, that's the hot shot move, right? And that's the move where if you're ingrained and you have years and years of coaching in the NFL, like, you don't want to see that college upstart come to the NFL and be successful right away, because then it kind of goes against everything that you believe in terms of paying your dues and climbing that corporate ladder, per se. Let's call it like that. So that's why I feel like, especially the former coaches like Rex Ryan and even some of the players who know how the process works, are against Urban Meyer. From the other side, though, and like, I think Sarah Spain would be a classic example, right? Like, you asked Sarah Spain what she thought about Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer. She thought the world of Trevor Lawrence. And then obviously she had her opinions about Urban Meyer. And you kind of hit it right in the head. And I'm going to kind of repeat it a little bit, but it comes down to the fact that, listen, Urban Meyer has had a lot of bad optics follow him. Okay? He had some in Florida, obviously. He had some in Ohio State. And now he's had some in Jacksonville. If you want to take the Jacksonville thing out of it, that's fine. But I think even before that, you know, if you don't agree with somebody as a person, or if you have an issue with how somebody handle the situation, let's just say, well, then you don't like that person. And if you don't like that person, then it gets harder and harder to root for somebody. Like, and like, listen, we always say that we live in the unbiased journalist era, right? Like, where you have to be unbiased, you got to call it down the line. Let's be honest, man. The reason why we have a job, the reason why, you know, like Sarah Spain and all those, you know, talented people have their jobs is because they have opinions and they voice their opinions. And when they see someone that they don't like, they're going to speak on that a little bit. So to me, where the disbelief and just not buying an Urban Meyer comes from that side of the aisle, comes from the fact that Urban Meyer might be the best guy, per se, as far as a people person and the optics that have followed him through college.
Yeah, I get it. That's a really good point. That's a good point. I think, who do you want to root for him, right? Do you?
Yes.
And you're right. There's something subconscious, even, whether it's intended or not, that comes into play there. Like, we want to, if we know a player, like a player, Calais Campbell, we want to root for that guy, right?
Of course.
It doesn't matter where he goes. Heck, I think they'd root for him if he went to Tennessee around here.
Absolutely. And then maybe. And then Jalen Ramsey, no one's rooting for him.
You're right. So there's a subconscious to that, and those are people that we think we know, and we probably don't even know as well as we think we know.
Sure.
So I get it. But so here's where this topic kind of comes from. I was reading this article on ESPN, and they took like their analysts had a bunch of questions about the NFL, some things that really don't really pertain to the Jags much, like who's your Super Bowl pick for 2021, you know? I mean, Jags aren't going to fit in that category. Who ends up with Deshaun Watson? Okay, not going to fit in that category. But there were a couple of things that were interesting to me. It's which team should be the early favorite to pick number 1 overall in the 2022 draft? Remember, Jags are picking number 1 this year.
That's a good call.
So they've got this panel. Someone says the Texans, the Lions, the Texans, the Lions, the Texans, the Bengals, which is interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
And Jeremy Fowler says the Jaguars. Even if most can agree Trevor Lawrence has superstar potential, this roster is among the league's worst. It has problems at almost every position. Urban Meyer needs a few years to create a winner. Jacksonville might just go back-to-back. Again, these are just opinions, and that's fine. And I'd be far-fetched to get this quarterback in here with what they already do have actually offensively and with what they do have in the draft in terms of capital and what they do have in money that they could spend in free agency, not even if they spend it all, and sit here and say the Jags are going to go 1-15, 2-14 kind of season again. Now, that's not always what it takes to pick number 1, in fairness. You can go 4-12 and pick number 1. So maybe this isn't that far-fetched. Maybe the Jags could go 4-12, the league falls that way, and they still pick number 1. But I think if you think somebody's going to pick number 1, that means you think they're only winning like 1 or 2 games.
Yeah.
And if, boy, that would be disappointing as heck if the Jaguars bring Urban Meyer in, bring Trevor Lawrence in, have a little bit of a core. Again, we can debate what they have, but they've got some players. I think they have an offense that a lot of people would bring Trevor Lawrence into and say, okay, that's not bad. And whatever else they're going to add and say, well, they only improved by 1 game. Or I'd be highly disappointed in the Jacksonville Jaguars if they only improved by 1 game or 2 games.
Can you just please repeat the first part where he talks about the roster?
Roster is among the league's worst.
Okay.
It has problems at almost every position, which, again, I don't agree with Fowler here.
Well, no, and that's what the point I was trying to make. Like, who would you rather have right now as a roster? Would you rather have the the Jets roster or the Jaguars roster?
And no doubt.
It's not even close, right? So, like,
but even take that's a debatable one in terms of, okay, how about the Bengals roster? How about the Texans roster? How about this? But I would just say it has problems at almost every position. See, I think they're wrong. Do they have problems in the offensive line that nobody else would have?
They have problems on defense.
They have problems on defense.
Yes.
That's where they have problems.
Yes.
And again, they've got money and draft capital to help fix some of those problems, like to at least plug some of those holes.
Yeah.
I mean, do they have a problem at running back?
No.
They got a guy that just had 1,400 yards. They don't have a problem at quarterback anymore. They got a guy.
Mm-hmm.
They have problems at wide receiver. Could they be better? And do you have problems or 2 different storylines?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's why their special teams is really good. So you're talking about defense. You're talking about a defense. That's it. I mean, that's 1/3 of your team that you would be like, okay, I'm not very confident in that right now.
Yeah.
Right. Again, I'm not sitting here and telling you we're better than the Chiefs on offense, and because you have good special teams, that's going to make you a playoff team. I'm not trying to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying if you're going to put in the fact that they have problems at every position, no, I don't really think that's true. I think they could get better at every position, and so could 31 other teams most likely.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that just shows me that you probably didn't really go down the roster. Like, you didn't see the offensive line, you didn't see the wide receivers, you didn't follow James Robinson, and that's fine. Maybe you didn't do your homework, but, like, they don't have problems at every single position.
No, I don't think so either. All right, so then the other one that was interesting to me, and again, they don't have to say the Jags and Urban Meyer here. It just brought this up to my attention. Which new coach will post the most wins in 2021? Brandon Staley with the Chargers is a pick, and a popular one, Staley. A couple of people say Staley and Arthur Smith with Atlanta. Basically, it's Arthur Smith and Staley.
Well, listen, and Staley's not a bad pick.
No. Chargers are good, right? Chargers have a good team. Yeah. And obviously the Falcons have still Matt Ryan, and they have a team that kind of turned it on a little bit at times, even after firing Quinn. There's one person that says Robert Saleh.
No.
So my point being, and by the way, I'm a huge Saleh fan.
Yeah, but listen, I respect
the Jets
Saleh.
they don't even know who their quarterback is. And somebody's willing to say Saleh will have more wins than the Chargers or the Falcons, but nobody's really willing to go all in and say Urban Meyer will have more wins as the rookie head coach. You know, if you're going to go Saleh, you could certainly go Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
So again, this is a panel. This is nothing to go crazy about. I think now, once I read that article, once I'm listening to the outside people, over these last couple of weeks, I really got a chance to listen to a lot of the national shows while we were on the road.
Sure.
And so you're hearing some of this stuff, and collectively, as it comes back, it's like there's not a lot of faith in Meyer. There's a lot of faith in Trevor Lawrence. Like you just said, Sarah Spain, she might have been the epitome of what people think. Trevor Lawrence, all in. Urban Meyer,
Yeah.
And it's just surprising to me that there's not a little bit more belief in Urban Meyer, because I can tell you this, certainly seems like there's a lot of belief around here in Urban Meyer.
I mean, there has to be, right? I mean, like, listen.
It doesn't have to be.
Well, I mean, I think
he's from the fans. Fans aren't always the most optimistic.
No, but like, listen, from what they've had, I mean, listen, from what they had, how couldn't there be optimism right now with Urban Meyer? I mean, you mean to tell me that we're having Gus Bradley and then having Doug Marrone that gave you hope? You know, I mean, like, let's be honest. Like, Urban Meyer's exciting because he's new. And he's exciting because he's a household name.
That always carries excitement. Yeah.
So they're definitely excited.
And because he has Trevor Lawrence.
And that's going to help as well, for sure. But I think that at the end of the day, it comes down to what you think about the person. And we've talked about this a little bit, where if they're hard to cover, then you're probably not going to cheer for them. If they're in your city and they're on your team and they're coaching your team, well, then of course you got to support it. You know, I mean, that's what being a fan's all about. So,
yeah, it'll be. Now, listen, I will say this: the national folks have been right a lot in the past on Jacksonville. We've had a lot of sunshine and rainbows at other moments. So, I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just talking about more the feel of Urban Meyer. Speaking of Urban, the Jags did announce Tony Khan's involvement in the organization today. Is that surprising at all to you?
No, not at all.
No.
I mean, listen, from my understanding, he's going to be in the capacity of analytics, which obviously that's kind of his thing.
Yeah.
And that's
Remember,
where
he owns an analytic company.
Correct.
I think he still does. He did.
And that's where the NFL is going. So, no, I mean, I'm not surprised that Tony Khan's got the gig with the Jaguars. Of course he would.
Do you like that? Do you like?
Well, you know how I feel about analytics.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you got Urban Meyer who comes in. He's a college guy. He's going to the NFL. He's a 56-year-old coach.
Yeah.
You have Tony Khan, who believes in analytics. Again, he has his own company in analytics.
Yeah.
He seemingly has been a little bit on the outside of the football stuff the last couple of years, and I don't know if that's an accurate description. I just have a hard time sensing how involved he was in these last couple of years as he's starting up the wrestling company. He's running Fulham.
Listen, I'm going to say this, though. My 2012, Tony Khan was like, he's pretty prevalent around the stadium.
Oh, absolutely.
But
yeah.
we never saw him. Like, we only heard, like, okay, like, we got some stats here every once in a while, and these are from, Tony Khan. Like, but we never saw Tony Khan. We never really interacted with Tony Khan. So, like, as far as, like, the influence on the football team in the locker room, like, no, that's not going to be there. It's just going to be, like, every once in a while when a coach goes over a game plan, they might share a stat or something like, hey, this team runs the ball on third down, when it's, between 5 and 10 yards, so-and-so amount of times. Like, that's where Tony Khan comes in. So as far as the influence, no, you're not going to see that.
So the Jags, they had a bunch of announcements today. So it's Kareem Kassam has been hired as the team's Senior Vice President of Football Operations Strategy. Kassam will report to Tony Khan, who has been elevated to the post of Chief Football Strategy Officer. As with Meyer and Balky, Tony Khan will report to owner Shad Khan. Which you can argue he's been doing all his life.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, like, listen, like, he's back in the news cycle again, but I feel like nothing, like, as far as the work that Tony Khan's done, I don't think that's really changed that much.
Well, I don't know if I agree with you there. Okay? Because I think what you're right. When Shad Khan bought the team,
correct,
I think the analytic wave was starting. And I think Tony Khan, again, was very heavily involved with that. I think there were folks in the building heavily involved with that, pushing toward that with Gus Bradley, Dave Caldwell.
Yeah.
I think again, I don't know if it comes out in a book someday or if we just find out later on. I don't have any for sure. I know exactly this to give you, but my perception was always when Tom Coughlin came in, that fell back. Like I felt like Tony took a lesser role in the organization. Or maybe it was just that he was way more behind the scenes. Now, listen, he was still in every game. He was still, with Caldwell.
I saw that one GIF of Tony Khan and Coughlin going crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I think he's obviously a huge supporter of the team, and it was involved that. I think that can be different than whatever you're doing day to day, and how much you're utilizing what Tony Khan is giving you and his team, if you will.
Sure.
Again, I'm just telling you that I think from a perception standpoint, that's what I felt like was going on. You have to remember, we got a lot less behind-the-scenes look in the Tom Coughlin days of what this organization was, even as closely as we cover them. So that's always my perception of it. Did it come back a little bit with Doug Marrone last year? Potentially. So this has some significance to me, the fact that titles are being given out, a position is being made for Senior Vice President of Football Operations Strategy, that there's going to be more analytic involvement, Tony Khan involvement in the Urban Meyer regime. I think it's a pretty significant press release today to show you that it shifted back to the way it was when you played and when Shad first bought the team in the early years of Gus Bradley and Dave Caldwell. For right or wrong, I don't know if that's good, bad, or indifferent. I would say this. Everybody at almost every level now is using analytics. It's just a matter of how much you want to use analytics, how much you believe in analytics. But every sport at every level is using analytics.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, here's what I think with Tony Khan and the influence. Now, listen, when Coughlin was here, was it different? It very well could have been. But, like, I don't want the whole analytics thing to get misconstrued a little bit. I say I can't stand analytics. Well, I can't stand analytics when it says that you should go for 2 instead of going for 1. Right? I can't stand analytics when you leave points on the board because it's like 4th and 3 from your opponent's 35-yard line and you opt not to go for the field goal, you go for the first down. Like, that's the part of analytics that I'm not a fan of because you go towards calculations more than you go towards the feel of the game. That's where I don't like analytics. But, like, let's not get it miscontrived here. I like analytics from the point of game planning. I love analytics from the point of how you prep your week. And, like, that's what I feel like Tony Khan's always kind of had an effect on this team. Now, maybe it shifted a little bit when Tom Coughlin was here, but I'm just talking about from an analytical standpoint of game planning. From an analytical standpoint of, all right, where do they like to throw the ball on 3rd down? What receiver gets the ball when? Like, all those things, those are brought in the game plan. Now, it's not like Tony Khan standing in front of the room and say, all right, guys, here's what we discovered. No, like, that information gets relayed to the coaches, and the coaches choose to either go with that information or say, no, we're all good. Usually they go with that information because it's good stuff. That's what I like the analytical standpoint. Of when you're prepping for your opponent, when you're getting ready for Sunday, those analytics can tell you a lot of things what a team is trying to do.
Yeah, it's just whether you like it or not, analytics are a heavily part of the game. I mean, that's just the way it is now in all sports. Kassam's interesting because he was with the Twins, director of baseball research, leading their department overseeing analytics in the areas of scouting, player development, and biomechanics. And the Twins have gone to the analytical approach with Rocco Baldelli and company and done a very nice job. Prior to his time with the Twins, he spent 5 years with the Pittsburgh Steelers as the club's analytics and football research coordinator. And here he is now with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I think it's a good I think the fact that Jags go on this analytical approach is the way the teams are going. And I think early on, they felt like they were trying to be more on the cutting edge of the analytics. I don't know if that helped or didn't help. I'm not saying it wins you Super Bowls. I think it's a piece of the puzzle. And I think, again, when you were playing at the end of your years here in Jacksonville, when Gus Bradley, Dave Caldwell, that was a welcomed addition. That was something that was leaned on. We've seen the Jaguars still use analytics. I just wonder if it will be more prominent. And when we think analytics, we do think of the 2-point play or going for it on 4th down. That's not it. I mean, look at what I just said. Kassam was in charge of scouting, player development, biomechanics. Yeah. It goes into finding players, right? Mm-hmm. And what traits work and maybe the draft process. So interesting to see Tony Khan, I would say from a public standpoint, seemingly back involved with the Jacksonville Jaguars. What does this mean? Urban Meyer's belief of analytics probably says he believes it.
Sure.
And he's going to utilize it.
I mean, you have to. And like I said, especially when you're trying to game plan for an opponent.
Tony Khan's a busy guy, though.
Got a lot on his plate. A lot on his plate. Yeah, I don't know how he does it, man.
A lot on his plate. Hey, we'll be back. Speaking of baseball, I got a question for you. Changing baseball with one simple move. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Rain today, even a few rumbles of thunder will diminish by late afternoon, but breezy and turning much cooler as temperatures fall into the 50s, clearing and cold tonight down into the 30s. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30 Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm TV meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where right now you can get 5 years, 0-interest financing with nothing down.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you love golf, you need to get this deal. 8 rounds of golf for less than $12 per round plus card fees with the Dream 18 golf card at great area golf courses like Queens Harbor Yacht and Country Club, Fleming Island Golf Club, and 6 others. And this isn't just a golf card. Get a free shirt from Baker Sports, a free hat at Dome Hats, and a free smoothie from Smoothie King, plus 15% off any purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. Go to ESPN690.com to purchase the Dream 18 card for $95. Hundreds of dollars in savings and the perfect gift.
In Florida, it's not if the storms are coming, it's when the storms are coming. And that's why you need the Chief. Jacksonville's chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish, with a proven track record of keeping local families safe. Rain, heat, hurricanes, flooding, tornadoes. We get it all. Just more reasons why you need the Chief. Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, backed by the First Alert Weather Team. Only on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
Don't miss the Gun Show this weekend at the Ice and Sportsplex, featuring guns, knives, ammo, and more with concealed weapons classes twice each day. Doors open at 9 a.m. at the Ice and Sportsplex on Phillips Highway just off Emerson, Saturday and Sunday. Buy, sell, and trade. See you at the Gun Show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Leon Haley, CEO of UF Health Jacksonville. We are so grateful to the Players Championship and the Redcoats for their support. The Players was one of the early donors who made our Proton Therapy Institute possible. 18 days to go.
Do you know that there are 7 steps that can help to ensure a lifetime of success for your child or grandchild, even though they may have trouble controlling their anger or lack of focus or respect for others? Karate America takes pride in the tens of thousands of children they've impacted. Imagine your child or grandchild showing and earning respect, setting and achieving goals, and making good grades. Visit karateamerica.info to see if Karate America's leadership program is a good fit for your child.
Don't miss the Gun Show this weekend at the Ice and Sportsplex, featuring guns, knives, ammo, and more with concealed weapons classes twice each day. Doors open at 9 a.m. at the Ice and Sportsplex on Phillips Highway just off Emerson, Saturday and Sunday. Buy, sell, and trade. See you at the Gun Show.
Have you seen it? I'm talking about the all-new showroom at Arlington Toyota, where they're celebrating with savings all month long. So what are you waiting for? Right now at Arlington, take your pick. A new 2021 RAV4 LE or a new 2021 Tacoma SR. You choose. 0 down or buy for just $299 a month. This is a purchase, not a lease. Celebrate with savings and come see the new showroom at Arlington Toyota today. Shop safely in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/February for full details.
Hey, do you owe more than $25,000 on your car, a truck, or that toy in the driveway? Refinance your auto loan with One-to-One Financial. We'll not only lower your payments, but we'll put $200 cash in your pocket. Plus, we have the lowest loan rates in town. Make some room in your budget and put more cash in your pocket. When you refinance with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Apply today at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
The March to Get Screened 5K, sponsored by the Borland Groover Foundation, is coming up March 28th. It's Rich Jones. Join me to raise funds for colon cancer awareness, life-saving screenings, and more. Check it all out at marchtogetscreened.com.
What if the music stopped? If the familiar voices were silenced? If there were no breaking news updates? What if your companion and connection to your community came with a monthly fee? Don't worry, we're free local radio with you wherever you go, celebrating 100 years and looking forward to the next 100. We are broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local TV and radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
The Gate River Run is coming March 20th. The registration for the 15K has now closed, but you can register for the 5K. Visit GateRiverRun.com to register and get complete information.
Austin Lane.
Are we on right now or not? Like our screen? I guess we're good.
Brent Martineau.
Yeah, you got to go all the way. Yeah, we're back. Thanks for your concern.
You're welcome.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
I tell you what JJ wants. He wants to play for a Super Bowl contender. He also wants to play for a coach where they can have fun again. Football was not fun for him and the Texans last season after they'd won back-to-back division titles. It was awful for everyone. So we all say right away he'd want to play with his brothers in Pittsburgh because they're really, really close. But Steelers don't have the money and they don't have the need. Others do. Green Bay, where he grew up a Packers fan, has a home outside Milwaukee. I think the Titans, where he's really close with Mike Vrabel and Shane Bowen, their defensive coordinator. Kansas City, Buffalo, those teams could use J.J. Watt. And if Shaq Barrett leaves the Buccaneers and Tom Brady and Bruce Arians call him and say, hey, man, come over here, let's win a Super Bowl. We'll sail around Tampa Bay, and you can come play for a fun coach and a Super Bowl contender. That would have to be very enticing.
That's John McClain, covers the Texans. We kind of think that is the favorite spot, right? Didn't we both agree on that?
What's that? I'm sorry.
Tampa?
No, I had Green Bay as number one.
Oh, you have number one.
Yeah.
Green Bay. I think JJ likes the beach.
You think so?
He's not afraid to flex with a shirt-off picture once in a while.
Certainly he's not afraid of doing that. But
me.
You don't think growing up a Packers fan, growing up in, yeah, I see you, man. I mean, I'll tell you quite the JJ levels. I see you, though, man. You been getting it, Brent? What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah? You okay? Did you pull something when you're flexing there?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. But you don't think J.J. Watt is intrigued to go back to Green Bay where he grew up and was a Packers fan?
Yeah, but I don't think that's always like...
Well, that's the thing, though.
I just don't
like,
always think that's like the... Just because it's intriguing, I don't think it's always the end-all, be-all.
No, I get that. But let's listen. We've established this. The money's not the motive.
No.
Okay. A Super Bowl?
Yes.
And if you want to sprinkle on maybe just, place where you live, I mean, Green Bay makes a lot of sense because Green Bay, let's be honest, the past 2 years, NFC Championship.
Yeah, it does make sense. I mean, but I'm just saying I don't know if that would be the driving force enough to get – would you like I ask you this, okay? I'm going to ask you a couple questions here. First of all, I got to say this before I forget because I did the research and I knew I was right and I couldn't get it in time in the last segment. We were talking about analytics.
Yes.
See, Daniel Adler is an assistant GM of the Minnesota Twins. So the Jags' new hire in Kareem Kassam comes from the Twins. Well, Adler used to work for the Jaguars with Tony Khan, I think back when, like maybe around 2012. Sure.
Yeah.
So I knew there was an interesting tie. It really has no value to you, the listener, other than to just give you a little connection to the dots.
Yeah, Brent smelled something, and he pursued on that, and now here we are.
And so here we are.
Yeah.
Then Ty just sent me this. You're offered $5 million to score against Michael Jordan one-on-one. You're given 10 chances. This is prime MJ time. If you fail, you won't be able to hear music ever again. Would you lace it up? Coos?
Nope. Heck no.
Can't hear music ever again, or you go $5 million to score against MJ. You get 10 chances.
I get 10 chances? Well, obviously, I score the first chance, and I get a nice assist. I get a block. Yeah, man, of course. Call me Mr. Thanksgiving. Is there a ref there? Because, listen, because you know how I feel about music. I'm wearing a Fleetwood Mac shirt right now, for crying out loud. If it comes down to it, I'll punch MJ in the face. All right? I'll fight you to get a basket.
That's a good idea. I wonder if that would be ruled.
I'm
just
assuming.
kick him right in
call your own fouls?
Kick him in the you know what.
Call your own fouls?
Yeah.
Kick him in what?
Well, you might punch him in the face. I'm not punching him in the face. I'm kicking him in the.
But yeah, you. Do you feel good about it though?
After $5 million? Hell yeah, I do.
Basically, listen, if you want to get a GoFundMe right now for $5 million, Brett Martin will kick MJ in the you-know-what.
Well, I would.
Yeah. I mean, for $5 million? Yeah. Dude, I would pay him $200 just to say I did it. Yeah. Just to put on my resume.
I don't think I'd be willing to risk the fact of never being able to hear music again. It would make this job really weird.
That's a good point.
Well, that would be true, Coos.
Yeah.
But $5 million's $5 million, dude. Coos, you're not confident in your basketball abilities?
Not against MJ.
I know, dude.
Just MJ,
just to go full circle on this conversation, you got no kahunas, Coos, if you don't go after $5 million.
Nope.
$5 million.
Music is too important to me.
Yeah, music's big time, though.
I like music a lot, too.
Well,
I like $5 million.
Here's the real question.
Ty just said I would.
Ty would?
Ty said, 104-pound Ty, just said,
he's in.
I don't know if he said I would kick Michael Jordan or if he said I'd go try to score for $5 million.
I'm assuming it's like actual basketball rules, like there will be a ref and they'll call it.
I don't know.
What's my patented move?
But here's the thing,
what would
Brent,
I do?
Brent,
I'd fade away just like Jordan's favorite
No,
shot there. Fade
you're
away right on Jordan.
You're not going to fade away on Jordan.
He'll block it.
So let's get that out of your head right now.
I'm going to fade away, pump fake, though, and lean in.
Tim Duncan?
Well,
yeah. What are you doing, little Tim Duncan?
Yeah,
nah,
I'm like 15 feet away
Dude,
here.
I'm
I just got to pray that it goes in.
I think you underestimate how athletic Michael Jordan is.
He's not recovering on that.
I'm convinced you wouldn't. I don't think any of us would be able to dribble more than 4 times before he stole it.
Hey, you know what I'm doing? Backing him down. Backing him down.
He would have stolen it. I'm telling you, he would steal it.
Backing him down.
No.
Elbows up, backing him down.
No.
Backing him. Oh, what's this? Oh, here's the hoop. I'm going to lay that in. Thanks.
I tell you, somewhere in that sequence, right?
Yes.
I got 10 chances. I got the ball top of the key.
And keep in mind, this is 90s Michael Jordan here, so this is like no easy buckets.
Yeah.
Don't come to the lane.
By the way,
so it's physical.
If you have the ball 10 times against Michael Jordan in this setting, there's 4 times at least you don't even get a shot up.
Right.
Because he takes the ball away from you.
Your best bet is the second he passes it to you, hopefully you're at the top of the key and just shoot it. Just hope you make that shot.
To that point, Coos, I'm spending one of my 10 attempts on just
trash talk.
Please, God, pray. Just be a part of me, and I'm going to turn around, right? Like I'm backing him in, and I'm just throwing it up. Throwing it up behind me like it's a game of horse.
I can't believe you just throw music away like that. You're wasting an opportunity.
Listen, I love you, Garth Brooks, but I love $5 million attempt.
Let's talk the analytics on that. What are the percentage that's going to go in, Brent?
No, that's one of my 10 tries.
Listen, let's go and establish the rules right now. If all of a sudden like a magic basketball, let's say Shazam shows up, Shaquille O'Neal shows up, and he's like, you guys can send one person to take on Michael Jordan. And then these rules apply. You get 10 shots, and if you make one of them against Michael, you all get $5 million. But if you don't get the shot, then obviously,
it's over.
Yeah, no music for anybody. You guys better send me.
Of course, I would send you over.
Are we in agreement?
How much of a cut do we get?
No, I mean, I'll give you guys whatever you want, but I'm just saying you guys are going to send me.
I want all of it.
Oh, no, I'm getting. I'm doing the work, so obviously there's the chain of trickle down effect.
And honestly, I'm sending you, but I'm not confident in the fact that I'll be able to hear music in 10 shots.
You gotta have a little more faith in me, Coos. Because listen, by any means necessary. Remember that, Coos.
I know.
Coos, I've practiced the art of punching people in the face for a while now, and if it comes down to it,
again, I'm
What's
assuming.
the rep gonna do? You gonna call one? Have you seen the Detroit Pistons? Did you see the Bad Boys documentary?
That's true.
Enough said.
He's
man.
ready for it.
Enough said. Call me Joe Dumars. Is that Joe? No, what's the guy's name? I messed that up. Is it Joe Dumars? Who's the guy from the Pistons?
Dumars the Pistons. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he was the guy nobody liked, right? Or not?
I think Dumars pretty. You're talking Bill Lambert.
Thank you very much, Bill Lambert.
I still hate Bill Lambert.
Why?
Sorry, that's a strong
Why?
word,
It's
Bill. I don't
too physical or what?
He's Celtics Pistons day.
A little too physical for your liking, right? You prefer the little more finesse of Larry Bird.
You go look up Larry Bird elbowing Bill Lambert, probably right in the chops.
Let's be honest. Bill Lambert and Larry Bird walk into a bar together, all right, and they get in a fight. Who's walking out? Don't even act like it's not going to be Bill Lambert. Don't even act like it's not going to be Bill Lambert. Don't even act like it's not going to be Bill. Listen.
No, this is the problem with you. Here we go again. You know who's a tougher basketball player? Michael Jordan or Larry Bird? Bird.
In terms of fight?
More physical on the basketball
Wins a fight?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan all day. Michael Jordan, it's not even close. Listen, if you want to
give Bird enough
if you want to get in the debate, like how do you bale hay and how do you stack hay? Yeah, Larry Bird wins that debate every single time. All right, congratulations, Larry Bird. But if you mean to tell me in a fight or in a physical altercation between Michael Jordan and Larry Bird, come on.
I'm taking Larry.
With what? How does he get it done, Brent? How does he get it done?
He's tougher than him, man.
No way. Oh,
He's
man.
baling hay tough.
I mean, listen, I went to high school with a bunch of country dudes, and I understand how tough they are. Yeah, baling hay, I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, that does something to you, but there is no way, Brent. Michael Jordan, the GOAT. No.
The GOAT doesn't make you tough.
Brent, did you watch the Last Dance, though, or not?
Did you? I didn't see. Yeah. I didn't see
I
anything.
mean, listen, I saw a guy
Did he ever throw a punch in his NBA career? Did he ever throw an elbow in his NBA career?
Right? Who was the guy that he went after in practice? He went after somebody in practice.
Yeah, that was that part of the story.
Yeah.
It was probably like John Paxson or something.
And when, no, it was probably the toughest dude there. He had to set the tempo. And a little three-piece and some soda. Nah, man, Larry Bird does not want those problems.
No love for Larry Bird's toughness.
I already know Larry Bird would come like with the scratching, like the feminine, like doesn't know how to punch.
He is like the biggest
he's stereotypical
Terre Haute white guy that can shoot the three, can't jump.
Whoa.
So now he says he's not tough.
Race has nothing to do with
I think it does.
I just watched. I watched Tyson Fury become the champion of the world.
Okay.
And I love Tyson Fury.
Now all of a sudden you think Bill Lambert's like Tyson Fury.
Well, I mean, it's close. It's comparable. Bill Lambert's a bad dude. Come on. Let's put a guy.
LeBron and MJ get into a fight.
Oh, LeBron all day. It's LeBron.
Right?
It's LeBron. Yeah. And would you agree if it was Larry Bird and LeBron would be?
I do, actually, LeBron.
Okay, so we're on the same page for once?
I do believe that.
Good.
Hey, by the way, LeBron, why don't guys, I guess you're hesitant to get in fights with stars, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think back to
there's not a lot of that. That's why Bill Lambert did. That's why Dennis Rodman. That's why Draymond Green.
Yeah.
That's no, seriously.
No, you're right.
That's too many. Even like, I guess Charles Barkley probably got some stuff, but
Ron Artest, obviously, that whole thing.
Even Shaquille. Who would mess with Shaquille, really?
Shaquille and Barkley got into it, though. Remember that one time?
I don't.
Yeah, Shaquille and Barkley got into it.
That makes some sense.
Did Dwight Howard?
It wasn't on the set of TNT either.
No.
Did Dwight Howard ever get in it when he was like prime Dwight Howard? I don't remember him ever getting into it.
I think there's something to it. It's kind of like in baseball in the major leagues. Now, it's not always the case, but it has been the case that you don't hit your, like, Derek Jeter's not getting hit by a pitch.
Yeah.
Like, there was always that kind of unwritten rule. You're going after somebody else. You're not going after the star. Now, I think that's kind of dissipated to a degree. But I don't know if it's like people don't want to mess with LeBron because they think they might get their ass kicked.
Yeah.
Or if they just respect the star status of LeBron. And so they're not going to.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to be the guy that fought LeBron, I feel like, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like nobody.
But there's a lot of guys that don't care. There's a lot of tough guys in the NBA that don't care what the unwritten rules are, But
let's be honest, yeah. But at the same time, like even that game, like, listen, we've talked about it all the time on this show. The game has changed, though. Like 90s, if LeBron played, yeah, he probably would have got in a fight with somebody. But, but like nowadays, like, you don't really see that much.
I was going to say, when was the last, has there been a good NBA brawl
lately? Brawl? Oof.
I feel like, too, part of the NBA stuff right now is they have this might just be sports, although we did get it in baseball, like pretty early on.
Yeah.
Because of the pandemic and not being
nobody wants to get up
nobody
on each
wants
other.
to do that, right? Nobody wants to kind of have that optic of, it's almost like we're all getting along just to be able to play sports.
Yeah.
So we're not going to go fight each other. Although, again, I mean, it happened a couple of times, I think, last year in baseball. Like, early on, it was like the first week of baseball, everybody's talking about the pandemic. Yeah. Don't go 6 feet near each other. And you got two teams. I forget even who it was. Yeah. But it was a pretty good one, I think.
No, for sure. But at the end of the day, I mean, so we agree that Lambert is the baddest or not? Or do you think Larry Bird is badder than...
I think Larry Bird would kick Lambert's ass.
Are you serious, though, or not?
Yeah, soft. Yep. He had Dennis Rodman to help. He had Isaiah Thomas to help.
Brent, stop. Have you watched the Bad Boys documentary? Because I didn't really know about who Bill Lambert was until I watched the documentary. Dude, do not come to Bill Lambert. Listen, you can't shoot three-pointers and be tough. Sorry, man. Like Ray Allen, I love you. Steph Curry, I love you. I'm taking you guys in a fight, okay? So Larry Bird, I get it. You're one of the best three-point shooters of all time, but I'm taking you in a fight.
These young guys, they think it's just Larry Bird shot threes.
No, there's
That's
no
all
way he's
everybody
gonna.
think. All the young guys think, people, is
No,
that
I
Larry
know,
Bird just shot threes.
He played with his left hand for a full game and
somebody
scored
put
40
together
points.
a highlight film
Played with
on
his
Larry
left
Bird
hand.
just hacking people,
Played with
going
his
down
left
the
hand.
lane.
All right.
Fisticuffs with Larry Bird. He swung sometimes, I think.
Okay. Well,
I remember him.
I'm going to Google some things. You just keep talking. I'm going to see what pops up.
We're going to take a break. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. By the way, LeBron James goes over 35,000 points. Can you tell me the other two who have done it? Who's? I hope you've seen this by now.
I haven't, so I'm going to guess Jordan.
Nope.
Oh, wow.
No, you got to go.
Yes.
Kareem.
Yes.
Yeah, Kareem. It's not Larry. Is it
That'd
Larry?
be awesome.
No,
if
it's
it
not
was.
Larry. Yeah. So I don't know why you bring it to my attention.
I should just say, yeah,
Well,
it is.
Well,
nope. This is the guy that nobody ever includes in any of these kind of categories. One of the most underrated careers and players.
Yeah.
Because of this. Because he never won.
Because he never won?
Part of a very good tandem.
Good tandem. Newer or older guy?
I would call him newer. Like,
okay.
You know, like not way back
Part
in the
of
day.
a tandem. Oh, no, because he hasn't won. Damn. Dude, I'm drawing a blank. It's crazy. A lot? Not a lot. No.
Pick and roll.
Not.
Jazz?
Steve Nash?
Jazz.
Carl
John. Okay. I'm like, I'm picking.
Karl Malone is an answer to a lot of these questions.
I had no idea. The mailman.
And you always forget about it.
Yeah.
Again, because of his maybe lack of raising the trophy and all that stuff.
Well, the other stuff too.
And the other stuff too.
I mean,
that's not why you forget him, but even back in the day, people forgot about
Yeah,
him.
I got you.
All right.
Okay.
Only 3 on that list.
That's crazy.
Isn't that wild?
That's crazy that Karl Malone's up there.
We'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 60.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Friday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The NFL QB carousel is starting a little bit early this year, with the Philadelphia Eagles sending former first-rounder Carson Wentz to Indy for a 2021 third-rounder and a conditional 2022 second-round pick that could turn into a first-rounder. Here's Mina Kimes, ESPN NFL analyst, on who got the best deal.
What just happened is a quarterback who is arguably the worst starter in the NFL last year, or bottom 5, just compelled his employer to eat $34 million in dead cap and forced his way onto a better team. The winner of this trade is Carson Wentz.
And more details unfolding in the tragic death of Vincent Jackson. After the autopsy, the medical examiner says he may have died up to 3 days before the body was found. His family has donated his brain to the Boston University CTE Center. The Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Everyone at CGC Water hopes your new year is off to a fantastic start, and CGC Water wants to give you the gift of clean drinking water. A Kinetico system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. Now that's clean water. Right now, CGC Water is offering $1,000 off a K5 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier Softener. If you're still not filtering your water, you are the filter. Schedule your free water test today and get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Remember, this is a limited time offer. $1,000 off a K5 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier Softener. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia, CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
In Florida, it's not if the storms are coming, it's when the storms are coming. And that's why you need the Chief. Jacksonville's chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish, with a proven track record of keeping local families safe. Rain, heat, hurricanes, flooding, tornadoes. We get it all. Just more reasons why you need the Chief. Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, backed by the First Alert Weather Team. Only on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
Did you know breast cancer kills 113 people every day? That's unacceptable.
African American women die from breast cancer nearly 41% more than Caucasian women.
That's unacceptable.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of all cancer deaths for Hispanic women.
Breast cancer is unacceptable.
Together with Susan G. Komen, we're committed to reducing U.S. breast cancer deaths by half.
And we're going to do it by 2026.
Visit Komen.org/unacceptable.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
If you love golf or know somebody who does, you need to get this deal. 8 rounds of golf for less than $12 per round plus cart fees with a Dream 18 golf card at great area golf courses like St. John's Golf and Country Club, Amelia River Golf Club, and Eagle Landing Golf Club. And this isn't just a golf card. Get a free shirt from Baker Sports, a free hat at Dome Hats, and a free smoothie from Smoothie King, plus 15% off any purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. Go to ESPN690.com to purchase the Dream 18 card for $95. Hundreds of dollars in savings and the perfect gift. It is the home of the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The golf club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family-owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the golf club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the golf club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY.
Mom, can we have some ice cream?
I've got a better idea. Who wants to help me make something fun and healthy instead?
Eating smarter is easy and delicious. Interested in receiving healthy recipes and a whole lot more in your email? Then register at healthiestweightfl.com and learn more about all the small steps that you can take on the way to living healthy. This message is sponsored by the Ounce of Prevention Fund of Florida, the Florida Department of Health, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Does it feel like finding clothes in your fit is impossible? Tired of feeling overwhelmed with options that just aren't right? Let the experts at Stitch Fix do the shopping for you. At Stitch Fix, we make sure each piece is hand-selected for your life. So whether you're staying home or on the go, Stitch Fix has the answer for what to wear. We make it easy to find what works for you. Signing up takes just a few minutes, and styles are delivered directly to your door. Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, your style delivered.
Get ready for Shopability Saturday, a way to support Jacksonville businesses that employ individuals with autism, Down syndrome, and other intellectual differences. Visit connectablejacks.com to see the Shopability map, then shop away on Saturday, March 6th.
How are those Larry Bird fights you looked up? Pretty badass, huh?
Do you want to get into it? Because I saw him back down from 2 of them.
He took on Dennis Rodman and Bill Lambert at the same time.
Okay, so first of all, over-exaggerating as usual. But let's be honest. The guy raised his fist, and then what do? Lowered it and backed away.
He didn't want to get suspended.
Well, especially Kareem, too. When you went after Kareem, don't mess with the Kareem. Don't mess with the dream, man.
All right, now you looked up
Beta
a Lambert video.
Beta Bird is what we call him now. Beta Bird.
And
backing down.
Let's just say, would you do a tag team match with Bill Lambert after watching him throw?
Okay, so here's the thing. All right, here's the thing. And this is what I was worried about. This is what I talked about. Is when the personified tough guy, if you think is all-world tough, proceeds to get in a fight and throw a punch. And the punch is with, like, his wrist and not his fist. You know, he kind of... It's not a slap, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, like maybe you'd make that kind of sound.
Like maybe I want to throw a punch, maybe I don't.
Now, with all due respect to Bill Lambert, one of the most physical, stay-out-of-my-lane dudes of all time in the NBA, I respect the game, man. I actually modeled my game after that a little bit when I played high school basketball, back when they let us do whatever we wanted. But with that being said, the punch that he threw, I'm not even sure who the guy was, but the punch that he threw here, Brent, I'm going back over it right now. You can see for yourself. It's the Cavs against some guy named Daughtry. I'm not sure who the Daughtry is from the Cavs. Sorry, before my time.
No, that's Doherty. That's Brad Doherty.
Oh, Brad Doherty. Sorry. I thought it was Chris Daughtry. But with that being said,
Brad Doherty never won American Idol.
Yeah, Chris Daughtry. But with that being said, yeah, the fact that he throws the punch and it connects with like the wrist first and then the fist is just, it's not a good look.
Like, don't you think Bill Lambert should be ejected from the Bad Boy documentary?
For that
After
punch?
watching this?
No. I mean, listen, the guy's still got a
Do you think
reputation.
that
But
clip makes it into the bad boy document?
no, definitely not. It's called the Bad Boys, not the slapping boys. You know, like, come on, man. There's nothing more, like, I love it. Like, I love the entertainment factor of when somebody tries to act hard and then they throw a punch and it's just like, dude, what are you doing right there? And listen, that's like 90% of the world. I'm not naive to that. But
well, listen, we all can't have our hands registered as weapons.
I'm just saying, I would like, if I was, okay, let's say me and my son go out. And let's say, we're not going to the bar, obviously, he's 6 years old, but like, let's say.
Hey, after he gets a tattoo.
After he gets a tattoo. So let's say he's 7 years old. No, let's say that we go to like the latest Disney movie and COVID's not a thing anymore. And we're at the theater, right?
Yeah.
And we had a good time.
Soul.
And then we're walking out, all right? We're walking out of the theater. And all of a sudden, for whatever reason, there's some dude accidentally spills a soda on my son. Walk out of the theater. And I'm like, hey, dude, we got an issue right now. We better handle this. And my son's watching. I would rather throw a proper punch and get decked than actually throw like a slapping type of punch and knock the dude out.
Yeah.
Because like at least my son, like when he gets home, is like, Dad got in a fight. And my wife would be like, well, what happened? Well, he got knocked down, but like it was a battle. You know what I'm saying? The guy got lucky. As opposed to, oh yeah, my dad knocked the dude out, but I'm going to be honest. It didn't look that cool, you know? So go ahead and give me the real punch and get knocked down as opposed to the slappy kind of punch and knocking somebody out.
Style points do matter.
Style points are
if
everything.
If you're
in
going
a
to fight this weekend, style points do matter. Hey, is there a reason? Is maybe this why you won't retire from MMA just so you can keep your hands registered as weapons?
It's a good point.
Like, do you have to register them every year?
No, it's just one and done, I guess.
That's it?
I guess so. I don't
like
know.
you could like never fight again in like 10 years. You'd still have hands ready. Like
I'm not sure. Like, listen,
well,
I don't know.
You might want to know that in case you get in a fight in a bar.
I'm not gonna get in a fight in a bar. That's not my style. But I don't know if it's some kind of like body mass index, or if I put on a lot of weight, it's like, oh, well, he's fine now. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's like,
hey, if you're at a bar with Coos and me, you might get in a fight.
Yeah, because you're going to egg it on. I can already tell. Larry Bird, we're going to be in the middle of downtown Chicago one year. Larry Bird would kick Michael Jordan's ass. Tell you right now.
Yeah, and I'm going to be like Bill Lambert and say, hold me back! Hold me back! All right, I really want to get to this baseball topic.
Do you?
I think. That's coming up next.
Hello, you have reached the Crooks or Us training helpline. Today, we're explaining the term verified alarm to all you newbies out there.
Oh, boss, I can explain that. A verified alarm just means that whatever caused the security system alarm to go off has been verified.
Correct. And what alarm company is known for providing the fastest verified alarms?
SafeTouch Security.
Exactly. Because SafeTouch has the two-way communicator, which leads to alarm verification within seconds.
And alarm verification is very bad for us crooks.
Yeah, unlike a non-verified alarm that police label a low priority.
Like right below getting Grandma's cat out of a tree low.
So, to sum up, verified alarms. Just one more reason we crooks have the golden rule, stay away from SafeTouch houses. Remember that, and you'll be fine.
Here, kitty, kitty.
Only one security system is truly the best. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Cease and desist.
You gotta love lawyer talk, don't you? I got a letter from the competitor's lawyer accusing us of stealing all their best people. They demanded that we cease and desist. The ugly truth is that the other company was actively driving away their best people. Management didn't treat them right, so they voted with their feet. And most of those plumbers and techs initially hired on somewhere else other than Griffin Service. Except those somewhere else companies weren't any better in terms of how they mistreated their people. So a few of those guys came to work for me at Griffin Service, where I absolutely gave them the respect and appreciation they deserved. Then word got around.
If you want the best job you'll ever have, come work for Tom at Griffin Service.
That's good news for amazing AC techs and plumbers, and bad news for my competitors and their lawyers. Because I'm not going to stop revolutionizing the AC and plumbing industries here in Jacksonville, and I'll never cease and desist from treating my people and my customers the way they deserve.
GriffinService.com.
License number 1250697. We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope. and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
O'Reilly. This is Sarah's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
Driving cross country with 2 young children is ambitious, to say the least. Then our check engine light came on. We pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts and they tested it. Turned out it was a faulty sensor. They referred us to a great mechanic just down the street, and we were back on the road in no time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune in to Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
The announcement today that up to 25% capacity will be allowed for every round of the men's tournament, including the Final Four, masks and social distancing required. From the NFL, the Eagles today released wideout Deshaun Jackson, who played only 8 games over the last 2 seasons due to injuries. Will Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson be traded? ESPN's Louis Riddick is thinking about a team that should want to make an offer.
In Chicago, you have a coach and a GM who know that this year it's make or break. It's do something good, do something spectacular, or we're probably out of here.
Louis Riddick on Get Up. Indians manager Terry Francona will be on crutches for a few weeks after surgery for a staph infection in his left big toe. ESPN has learned the Mets will sign free agent right-hander Taijuan Walker to a 2-year deal worth $20 million.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Did you see how much money Fernando Tatis just signed for? 14 years, $340 million. If you have a child with athletic ability, make sure that kid plays baseball. By the way, while you're at it, tie his right arm behind his back and make sure he's left-handed, because then he might become a pitcher.
I thought he was giving a shout out to Ty for a second. I was like, how did Greenberg know?
Yeah.
Ty.
Yeah.
When I first heard that, I really thought he was going to say, good luck, Ty. I was like, oh, my God.
I got stopped for a second because he paused. I was like,
yeah.
Wait a minute, where's he going here? That was nice of you guys to ask Greedy to say hi to Ty.
Is there a competitive rivalry right now between Ty and Kaylee this season? Or not? Or is
that's
it
a
more,
good call.
Is it more supportive?
I don't know if it's either.
Indifference? Whatever, just do what you do and watch me do my
thing? They kind of
thing?
do their own thing. Yeah,
Okay.
you know, it's interesting. And that's a really good question.
Ty.
I don't know how they feel about that. Both, made their high school debuts this week.
They did.
And but I don't know. I don't know if they text each other. I don't know if they see each other in school. I don't even know if they say good luck. I don't know if they say nice job.
Huh.
I really have no idea. But I don't think there's not yet. I don't think there's like this competitive. I did better than you, or you did. I don't. It's totally different.
Yeah,
I think they both sense that. But
that's a good job on parenting on your part, because listen, I'm an only child, but if I had like a twin sister and it was like football season, and let's say like I put up like 5 catches, 3 touchdowns, 200 yards receiving, big day for me. That actually happened, and like I would text my sister right after that. Hey, by the way, just dominated. Go look in your volleyball game. What are you gonna do? You gonna get some spikes? What are you gonna do? In your face.
That's what I used to do with my brothers.
Because I'm competitive.
When I would play basketball, I would text them and be like, and I was not good at basketball, so I'd be like, just had 6 points. Good luck in your swim meet.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, listen, I'm like the ultra competitive person to strangers. Imagine if I had like a twin sibling. There's no way.
Yeah. I don't. Now, listen, that could evolve a little bit too. I just think they've been so. They played baseball together one year. That was back when I coached them, back in like when they were 7.
Oh, what was that like?
It was cool. Like that was very supportive.
Yeah.
And but they just kind of, it's almost like now they live 2 different lives, but are in the same house, even though they're in the same grade, same school, all that stuff, and even have some mutual friends, but not a lot of the mutual friends.
Okay.
But it is interesting. That'll be I haven't really thought about it much, but it's not like Kaylee said, "Hey, Ty, I did this.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?"
Yeah.
Or like Ty goes 0 for 2 and she's like, "What the heck?"
Yeah. Because wasn't it?
Now, once in a while, she'll say something to him and feel like, "How did you do that? Like, how did that happen?" But a lot, what we'll get, Ty doesn't say anything.
Okay.
He doesn't tell us anything. Kaylee is a little bit more forthcoming with details.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I want to check up on Ty at like, how's he doing at practice or whatever, well, they practice right next to each other. And so once in a while, I'll say, "Kaylee, it's like, well, I thought he had a really good at-bat today. I watched him like at batting practice, and it was a good at-bat." Or I saw him dive and make a play at second or something like that. And so they'll peek over on each other's field
just
sometimes.
See what's up, but they seem supportive.
That's the only details I get.
That's cool. Because like I remember watching, I forgot what documentary it was, but like with Reggie Miller and his sister, obviously Cheryl Miller, who dropped 100 points in a game. Well, the reason why she dropped 100 points and I'm not 100 points in a high school game. 146 for 50 from the field goal percentage-ish, whatever you want to call it, because she wasn't competitive. She was obviously like the ultra competitor right next to her brother, Reggie Miller. So like they went back and forth.
Yeah, and I think, by the way, there is that. I just don't think it's a vocal nature right now with them.
100 points in a basketball game.
I know, that's crazy.
That's stupid.
That is crazy. Although you say that, and I understand, obviously, you got Wilt Chamberlain, and you just mentioned Cheryl Miller.
Yeah.
And what's it like recently? Hasn't it been like Jimmer Fredette or whatever scoring like 82 over in China?
Maybe.
And I just feel like if you wanted to, like if Harden wanted to score 100, could he?
I mean, yeah, but would they probably win? No. Well,
that's
the thing.
That's
the
my
thing.
point,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So like it doesn't allow you to, and I'm not saying like Wilt Chamberlain played out. It's kind of different game then, and so I'm not saying he played outside the team that was the game. Like get it to Wilt Chamberlain. Okay, I understand. I'm not saying even if Harden tried or if LeBron tried or if Kobe had tried to get 100, could he have gotten 100?
Yeah.
But I think like if you tried to make an attempt at that, more people could do it even in the realm of a game. Now, you would totally just forget about whatever strategy you have, whatever offense you're trying to run, all that stuff. But I think it could be done.
All right, before we get to Brent's baseball, I'm very curious to see how you're going to say baseball here. Kuz, any NBA, Kuz, obviously Driving Dish podcast, any NBA athlete right now can score 100 points in the game. Who would it be due to his skill set?
Oh, well, right now, I guess, can I go with like Klay Thompson? Because he had, like 60 points in like 25 minutes? You need someone like that who can shoot the 3 ball. They get on this hot streak and just can't miss. Bradley Beal had a 60-point game this year.
Sure.
So he's got to be on that list of people that could get there. So like,
you have to be able to shoot.
So it's got to be a 3-point shooter.
Devin Booker hit 70 points last year in one game. So like, it's got to be in today's NBA. It's got to be someone that just is so good at shooting a 3 ball and can heat up so fast and do it so quickly.
You think Dame could do it?
Yeah,
Dame time?
Yeah, I think he could.
Yeah.
Listen, I think it's very hard to do. I don't want to minimalize.
I'm not saying it's going to ever happen. I'm just saying, like, who has the skill set?
I just think you have to play so much outside the realm of the game
It's
to
kind
be
of
able
like,
to do it.
It's kind of like with like the Westbrook argument, where like if Westbrook would go for a triple-double every game on the Thunder, but they weren't necessarily winning. So
True.
it'd be the same thing.
Well,
you could drop potentially 100,
yes,
but you might not necessarily win. Bradley Beal scores 60 points. I think he's done it like 6 times in his career, and they've won one of them.
I do think, I think LeBron can get a triple-double every game.
Yeah.
If he wanted to.
I mean, he'd probably have to exert himself more than he wants to, obviously.
But I think he could try to get a triple-double every game.
Sure.
I think there were times that Russell Westbrook was like trying to get a triple-double because it became
No,
such
he
a story.
was. No, he definitely was.
You know, and
Yeah.
so that's outside of the realm, kind of Kuz's point, where he loses. All right, let's get Steven in real quick. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690.
How are you going to say baseball,
I'm
man?
gonna get to it in a
okay.
minute, but he's been hanging on the
Chomping
line.
at
He's
the
been
bit
trying to
here.
call in, and Kuz's been ignoring him.
Yeah,
What's
well,
up?
no one else knew.
I know. I thought you guys blocked me and got tired of me already.
Well, I mean,
nah, man. Come on.
Hey, listen,
it's Friday.
we just can't. I mean, there's no way to do it.
Yeah, it's literally impossible, Steven, so you're
Actually,
welcome.
no, there is a way to put the.
Well, then, better mind your
All
P's and
right.
Q's.
You better ask a good question, Steven.
Well, I got word on Twitter that, and I guess James Robinson is opening up the Jaguars' eyes about looking to smaller schools. They were looking at a wide receiver at a Charlotte University at 6'5", 220. Guy had amazing numbers, and they're looking at a small school now, and it just thinks like, hey, maybe we can find another diamond in the rough like we did with James Robinson going to a small school. And I mean, I actually saw a little bit of tape on him. His name is Mike. I believe it's Strachan, Stracchen. Guy had good numbers, strong hands, big-bodied guy, even though we got Colin Johnson. But it kind of made me think that, they're going at least exploring all the options.
That's a Division II kid, right?
Yeah, Division II.
Okay. Thanks, Stephen. Appreciate it. Yeah, listen, that's part of the scouting process. Let's not say like the Jags are outliers there. I think everybody does it to a degree. I also think this kind of conversation sometimes scares Jags fans because it reminds them of Gene Smith.
Hey, and sometimes those small school guys can turn out to be great radio hosts. So don't sleep on those dudes just yet.
But remember this, okay? To be very good, you have to land a couple of lucky spots. Seattle got good with the Legion of Boom because of what they did in their secondary. Mm-hmm. It wasn't because they spent a bunch in free agency to get those guys. It wasn't because they just drafted all of them. It was, I forget who it was. One was from the CFL. One was Sherman like the 5th-round guy?
Yeah.
One of them back there was a 5th-round guy. One of them was from the CFL.
Yeah,
and now I can't remember name and whatever. How they accumulated the Legion of Boom.
I think he was a 5th round. Is he a 3rd or 5th? I can't remember, but
But it wasn't like these blockbuster top 10 to deliver what they produced. And so the point being, that happens in the NFL a lot. I mean, I think I saw something like a Super Bowl stat where it's like 33% of the roster in the Super Bowl wasn't even a 3-star or less in college.
Yeah.
So point being, Steven, you find I don't think you can rely on finding the diamond in the rough. But as you go along, and if you can get a Keelan Cole once in a while, a Montel Owens once in a while, now a James Robinson, and keep adding those kind of players, and if they blossom for you and they become these basically free acquisitions that you didn't have to spend a draft pick on or a lot of money on, well, no doubt that helps the strength of your roster and usually translates into success.
Without a doubt. And listen, like, you want to talk about small school guys, I think certain positions benefit small school guys more than others. Like, for instance, if you take a small school guy at quarterback, well, there's an acclimation period, right? If you take a small school guy, let's say at edge rusher, there could be an acclimation period, right? But I think from a wide receiver perspective, like Deontay Johnson, Toledo, all right? He's doing pretty well for himself right now in Pittsburgh. I think if you're fast, if you run good routes, like it doesn't matter who's covering you, they're going to find a spot for you. But with that being said, regarding this guy from Charleston, listen, 6'5", 225, ran on the track team, so you like the speed and all that kind of stuff. But, like, we got to keep in mind, and we can't jump the gun here. Yes, the Jaguars interviewed him. Guess what? I predict 20 other teams are going to interview this guy, right? Just because the Jaguars interviewed him first doesn't mean, like, they're infatuated with this guy. Now, is he intriguing because of his size and his speed and all that stuff? Well, absolutely. So I hope they do take a good look at him. But and listen, I haven't watched enough film on this dude to say one thing or another, but I like what I saw from Colin Johnson. I want to see Colin Johnson get some more reps. And I think right now from wide receiver, they have some pretty good depth there. Now, it can be better, obviously. They want to bring this guy in, so be it. I just don't know if he's going to come in and be a bona fide stud from day one.
We'll see. We'll see how and hopefully they get lucky again. James Robinson has been a great find. Hopefully he continues to be that guy, and the Jags can continue to do that 1 or 2 times every draft cycle. That would be fantastic. All right, how to save baseball.
Yes.
I saw this thing last week, and it was on YouTube, and it was really well done. It was like 15 minutes of, like, how do you fix baseball on the field? How do you fix baseball off the field? How do you fix baseball financially? Fernando Tatis played a big role in this in terms of marketing Tatis. That was one of the things. Salary cap in baseball was part of it. I thought, really good ideas, like very informative and good and debatable and all that stuff.
Yeah.
When we've had these debates in the past, I've suggested one thing, haven't really labored on it very much, but when I see these kind of arguments, and the one thing that has driven me a little bit nuts about the changing of baseball is the clocks and the 3-batter rule and the get in the box. If you watch baseball at the younger levels, there's not a lot of time in between pitches. There really isn't. But somehow we get to the later levels, and now it's like human rain delays out there on the mound, or the batters call time, or whatever it is, and they take longer and longer. The further you go along, it seems like the longer the games get at the pro level. Well, so much of this revolves around time. And the reason why it revolves around time is because we have a shorter attention span. I haven't been correct on this, but I always thought that maybe soccer would take off more because we know it's going to be in a 2-hour window. And the way we exist in our world, we 3 hours and 3.5 hours and 4 hours is too long for us. Yeah. So 2 hours, I thought, okay, well, it's over in soccer. I think the hesitation with soccer to catch on is it doesn't feel like it's our game and our sport here in the United States, and it isn't, right? But it also, they just don't score enough. I mean, if you look at the two sports that don't have enough action, it's in terms of actual scoring on the scoreboard, it's hockey and soccer, and both kind of struggle in the United States. Hockey to a lesser degree, obviously has a little bit more of a footprint here. So I think all those things go into it. But I think time is the biggest problem spot, that and lack of ability to market sometimes by Major League Baseball for the big leagues, for the sport of baseball. And so we're going through all these different things on how to change time. Like I just said, the 3-batter rule, so we don't have to make as many mound visits and get in the box and the clocks in between innings.
They also implemented the fact that you play extra innings and you have a guy on second.
And now you have that. That's right. And by the way, I don't even mind that rule so much.
But it made it interesting.
I didn't know if it was too quirky for the professional level, because we're so used to that at the youth level. That's what happens, in the travel ball circuit. But I didn't mind it. And it brought some interesting strategy to the game. And it obviously limited the time. But my big solution here is very simplistic. And I think it will be very hard to do because of the old heads in baseball, if you will. Okay. I just think it's hard to wrap your mind around it. But I just believe to save all the trouble of doing all those different things, just go to 7-inning games. I mean, just go to. We're seeing it happen over the last couple of years because of the schedule with the pandemic, that when they played a doubleheader to get games in, they would play 7 innings.
Yes.
It's been in the minor leagues for years. If you play a doubleheader, you go to 7 innings. This year, it's going to be play a doubleheader, go to 7 innings. The reason why I don't think this is that far-fetched for big league baseball is, one, you would shorten the time. And if you shorten that time, maybe you could even charge a little less at the gate, because now you're not paying for a 3-hour experience, you're paying for a 2-hour experience.
Yeah.
That also, by the way, gets your employees out of there a little bit quicker, potentially. But from a consumption standpoint, for the consumer, especially for the young consumer, now you're talking about 7 innings rather than 9 innings. Guess where the game slows down the most? Usually in the 8th and 9th inning. Because pitching changes and things get tighter, all this stuff. So, and by the way, you're in the bullpen, so then maybe more scoring happens. The game goes probably in the first 5 innings, this amount of time, and it balloons big time in the final 4 innings.
And listen, I like what you're saying right now, because, it's less bullpen, which when we get the bullpen involved
saves
a little
arms,
bit.
By the way. Maybe a health factor, too.
But I'm saying from a time perspective, when the bullpen starts getting utilized, that takes time.
Well, and on top of this, we're in a modern day. This is the perfect time for this, because in the modern day baseball, guys don't throw more than 5 innings anyway. Like, we're not seeing guys go past the 5th inning. Because of the analytics, once you get to the 3rd time in the order, that's it.
Yeah.
So I just think the adaptation, I'll just tell you this from if you're a big baseball fan, as I am, and now I might be in baseball a little bit different than you are now because kids are playing ball and stuff.
Yeah.
But just go back to remember when you did play baseball.
Yep.
When you played baseball, you hardly ever played a 9-inning game.
No.
In college, we played a couple of 9-inning games, but we mostly played 7-inning games. In high school, you played 7-inning games. In summer ball, you played 7-inning games. In the Little League level, you actually played 6-inning games.
Yeah.
So it is a common practice to play 7-inning games. It's an easily adaptable thing for families, kids, and really players to say, I'm used to this 7-inning clock. It's not like you're going from 4 quarters to 3 in basketball or football.
Mm-hmm.
That would be very uncommon,
Yeah.
because nobody does it at any level. This happens at almost every level except for the professional level. And, well, now colleges have gone that way too in Division I.
Yeah.
They go that way. In Division II, we didn't play that. And I don't think they do now either.
Yeah.
I think they played 7 innings still in Division II. I think we went to 9 innings when we went to the World Series. I think when we got into the postseason, I think it was and it might just been the World Series. I can't even remember completely. But my point is, it's just not that hard to adapt from a consumer player anything standpoint. You know what the biggest hurdle in all of this will be? The biggest hurdle if you went to 7 innings is the numbers. It's the record books.
Yeah.
And that is, I don't dismiss that. I don't dismiss that because that's a big part of baseball.
That's kind of everything, though.
It is.
It's the tradition in history.
But let me ask you this, okay? And this would be my argument. And I think this is the best argument against my proposal of 7 innings. And you got to remember now, you're talking to a guy who's a traditionalist. Like, I don't even like replay in baseball that much, okay? So, but I will give you this argument against it. In the last 25 years especially, we have said, record books, we don't give a crap about you. You know why? Because we turned our cheek on a whole era of steroid users that we knew was happening, and home runs saved the game, and we didn't care.
Yeah.
In the last handful of years, it is readily admitted that the ball has been juiced. The ball has been altered, and that's okay to hit. So much so that the ball is being de-altered, if you will, which isn't even a word probably.
No, I'm sure you're good.
This year to lower the home runs again.
Yeah.
So,
do all the gamer kids call it nerfed, right?
Nerfed? Is that the word?
Yeah, they call it nerfed and buffed.
Buffed,
nerfed.
yes, nerfed.
I kind of like nerfed better.
Like
That's
that?
a good word.
Nerfed the baseball.
All right.
They nerfed it.
So, which means what? They de-escalated.
Correct.
Right? The
Yes.
baseball. So if we're already doing that, aren't we already messing around with the record books? Aren't we already screwing the numbers of 100 years ago and 60 years ago? This would just be a different era. And if you... The bottom line is, if you don't change the game, everybody says, and I actually think the game's healthier than a lot of people do, but we know they have challenges. If they don't change the game of baseball to appeal to the younger person, that's bigger than the record books. You're talking about the health of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
If you're projecting the sport, and many of the experts believe there is a problem with the sport and projecting it, well, then let's get ahead of it. And don't worry about the record books so much anymore. Worry about bringing kids into it, growing the game. And the bottom line is our attention spans are not changing. It's not like we're going to go back to saying, hey, I want to go sit on the couch for 3 hours and watch this slow game where there's not even a lot of balls put in play. I just think 7 innings. Again, you're talking to a traditional baseball guy. I could sit there and watch 15 innings of a game. No problem.
Yeah.
But if you're reaching the masses, I think 7 innings would solve all these problems instead of these gimmicky things that we're all trying to save a second here, a minute here, 2 minutes here. Just play 7 innings. And also, here's part of my proposal. I would play extra innings as it is through the 10th inning. Okay?
Okay.
And then I'd go to this Texas tiebreaker situation in the 11th. Now, if you want to go through the 9th regular baseball extra innings and the 10th bring in the Texas tiebreaker, I probably wouldn't give you too much pushback on it. But I like the idea of going 7 innings, 8, 9, and 10. You play regular baseball if it goes that far. These are extra innings. And then if you want to go Texas tiebreaker, this new system, if it stays, then start that in the 11th inning.
So my opinion on it is this. I listen, I consider myself a traditionalist as well. And like, I am a little leery to having 7-inning games just because I've grown up with 9-inning games. And like, I'm not opposed to watching. I mean, listen, I should say this. I'm not opposed to watching the Milwaukee Brewers play a 9-inning game. Now, if I turn on the TV and 2 random teams are playing, would I watch all 9 innings? Truth be told, probably not, unless it's a very intriguing matchup. But in terms of my fandom and what I enjoy watching, 9 innings don't bother me. But that's the traditionalist in me. And I'm not naive to the fact of, listen, and we may disagree here, but like I do think baseball is hurting a little bit. I really do. I think in terms of, like the trending topics and all that stuff, I always feel like it's far behind football and it's far behind the NBA. And I compare it to like this. College football is very traditional, right? Like you grow up in your households, you cheer for this team just like your dad and your granddad did before, and like, this is a team that you like. Well, what's happened with college football attendance lately, right? Like kids aren't really on board. Like, yeah, some kids will go and with COVID-19 now, it's obviously different. But I'm saying even before COVID hit, attendance was down in college football. Now, you can go ahead and blame, all right, well, because you have all access to all the games whenever you want them. You can watch them on your cell phone. It costs money. You can stay, whatever the reason may be. But the point is that tradition doesn't really matter that much anymore. And I get the sense the same things with baseball, where it's like, yeah, I grew up with the traditional saying, all right, the game's played a certain way. But now it's different. And I'm not opposed to that if that means that the younger generations can take part. So if I have to sacrifice 2 innings of baseball to have it go faster and for the next generation to be all about it, then let's save baseball. But I think that we get in a spiral where it's like, well, we got to keep everything the same. We got to follow tradition. Tradition's only going to get you so far before the next generation's going to be like, nah, man, peace, we're out, we're going someplace else.
Yeah, and this is just a different time. I'm going to give you one last part of this, okay? A lot of people have said a 162-game season is too much. And actually, my buddy John just said the same thing. He'd like to get to 120 games.
Yeah.
And it's a great point. Well, do the math on this. All right? Mm-hmm. If you go from 9 innings to 7 innings over a 162-game season, so you still play 162 games, but you go 7 innings. Mm-hmm. Well, if you do that math, that eliminates basically 36 games. So 2 times 162, okay?
Yep.
So that's 2 extra innings, 162 games. You eliminate that.
Yep.
That equals 36 games.
Yeah.
So really, you're playing like a 126-game 9-inning schedule.
Sure.
You get my point?
I get you.
So you've almost solved 2 things at once. 2 talking points at once where you're saying, hey, there's too many games played. Well, that's wear and tear on the body, too. Yeah. Not just for the pitchers, but also for position players.
Yeah.
I tell you, man, we keep tinkering and tinkering and tinkering. This is a new wave. It's a new generation. And MLB is about ready to admit that. Like, they're about ready, it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do, well, then you could simply just solve so many problems with a 7-inning game. And I think you bring more fans because guess what? Now in the 4th inning, when a game is kind of boring in a 9-inning game, it actually takes on an intensity.
Yeah.
There's no drop-off. See, in a baseball game, you play 9 innings. Let's be honest. That 4th, 5th, 6th inning, we'll see how the game starts. First, second, third. It's like the NBA.
Yeah.
You want to see how the game starts? The second and third quarters, go take a nap, go watch a movie, and come back for the 4th. Well, baseball has a little bit of that.
Yeah, okay.
Middle innings, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, not in this situation. The intensity, the keep your attention for 7 innings is so much easier because it means something. The 3rd inning means just as much as the 1st inning. The 5th inning means like the 7th inning. That could be where the game changes. So I just feel like that is the way to solve so many of the problems if you can get by the traditional. I get the record book argument, but this solves a myriad of problems in Major League Baseball.
Do you think they shorten the rosters, though, in terms of relievers? You almost have to, right?
I think, listen, I believe there's an economical advantage to the baseball teams most likely in this. Because rosters could be a little bit trimmed up from a pitching standpoint. I say could because you have to still rely on your bullpens, and you also might go 9 innings because we might have more tie games after 7. So I think you have to factor that in.
Yeah.
But I think employees in the park, lights on in the park, all those things you're trimming down by like an hour and a half. That saves dollars.
Yeah.
And again, I think the consumer could get that back because you could lower the season ticket, the ticket to get in.
Now, are you going to stop drinking after the 5th inning? Because I got a problem with that.
I will say this.
I got a problem with that.
That's a problem. That in the 7th inning stretch could be in trouble.
That's a good point, too. We going to take him out of the ball game or not? What are we doing here? Yeah.
We have to reinvent it a little bit. And by the way, we laugh, but those are the things that will prevent something like this happening.
I mean,
those are the traditions.
Yeah, they're traditions.
But it's not forwarding the game by sticking to some of these traditions.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
We'll be back. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Rain ends and skies clear overnight. It'll be chilly, so bundle up into the upper 30s. Lots of sun Saturday, but cool temperatures will only reach the upper 50s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where right now you can get 5 years, 0-interest financing with nothing down.
Have you seen it? The all-new showroom at Arlington Toyota is open, and they're ready to celebrate with big savings, even on pre-owned. Celebrate savings and hearing the words, "You're approved." That's right. With Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your beacon score is from 450 to 850, almost everyone is approved. Plus, if you want selection, Arlington's got it. With over 400 pre-owned on the lot, what are you waiting for? Celebrate with savings and come see the brand new facility at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Are you getting engaged? Celebrating an anniversary or birthday?
You're in luck. It's Beards Diamonds' most exceptional finance offer of the year.
5 years, 0% financing with nothing down.
Yes. Shop Beards Diamonds' everyday low prices on anything in the store or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Then divide your total price by 60.
And that's your monthly payment with absolutely nothing down.
How about a $6,000 three-stone designer setting?
You pay only $100 a month.
Or a $4,500 1-carat diamond solitaire pendant necklace.
You pay just $75 a month.
And every purchase at Beards Diamonds is backed by our free lifetime warranty.
Now you can go bigger and get her the diamond ring she's always dreamed about.
And spread your payments out for 5 years and pay absolutely nothing in interest.
But hurry, Beards Diamonds' incredible 5 years interest-free financing with nothing down is only available for a limited time. Shop now at beardsdiamonds.com or at the St. John's Town Center.
Get the lowest prices in Jacksonville, guaranteed, at Beards Diamonds.
Everyone at CGC Water hopes your new year is off to a fantastic start, and CGC Water wants to give you the gift of clean drinking water. A Connecticut system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. Now that's clean water. Right now, CGC Water is offering $1,000 off a K5 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. If you're still not filtering your water, you are the filter. Schedule your free water test today and get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Remember, this is a limited time offer. $1,000 off a K5 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Connecticut Premier Softener. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia, CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Hey, do you owe more than $25,000 on your car, a truck, or that toy in the driveway? Refinance your auto loan with One-to-One Financial. We'll not only lower your payments, but we'll put $200 cash in your pocket. Plus, we have the lowest loan rates in town. Make some room in your budget and put more cash in your pocket. When you refinance with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Apply today at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Transmission problems? Call Action Transmission Specialists on Merrill Road, where you get the work done right the first time by the experts. I'm Robin Sidbury, the owner. Our techs can service all makes and models, and we provide a nationwide warranty, so you have the peace of mind knowing we solve your transmission troubles fairly and honestly and guaranteed nationwide. Call us at Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road, where quality counts. Get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. But if you can't catch it, or if you want to go back and listen again, check out the Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 podcast. Just search ESPN 690 in your podcast app.
Austin Lane.
And I'm going to regurgitate it to you. I'm like a mother bird right now, and I'm spewing it in your mouth.
Brent Martineau.
You got doves flying and mother birds all week.
I'm trying to baby bird you right now, man.
Yeah, well, this is why I tease stuff and don't get to it.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Tampa was a very special situation where you saw all that talent. That year they were on the move from a quarterback perspective, so it was just a kind of a perfect storm. When you look around the NFL right now, I don't see that team that says, hey, we've got everything but the quarterback, and we've got the money to pay you. I just don't see that. Now, when you look at the Steelers, they're having some issues, but they've got a group of receivers that's still top-notch in my estimation. So I think if I'm looking at this team that they're going to be able to put around me, and still they're going to be a quality football team. Yeah, they're going to have to make some tough decisions on some players, but hopefully if Benning says, hey, listen, I'm not going to be that decision. Let's make something happen. We can work the numbers, 2 years, and I'll be the stopgap to helping you find your next quarterback. I think that makes all the sense in the world.
I don't know who that is.
Hall of Famer.
I was long-winded. I stopped paying attention. I'll see my Arby's was trending on Twitter.
Is this the first time we've ever heard from this guy on the show?
I would be willing to bet yes.
I want to play 20 questions. Is
it
bigger
to?
than a bread box?
You want to? I want to play 20 questions. He doesn't know him, though. He doesn't know the guy.
There's a good chance I could mess this up, but he does go by a nickname.
Have you heard of this guy before? Like, do you know him?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
He said, oh, yeah, like he's a Philly guy.
Oh, yeah.
No, not a Philly guy, but he did play for the Steelers.
It's not Terry.
No.
No, he's got a nickname.
That wasn't Jerome Bettis.
Jerome Bettis.
The bus.
Damn. I don't know if that counts, but it's still a pretty good.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's right.
Jerome Bettis, I wonder how Jags fans feel about Jerome Bettis. Yeah. Because I know most Jags fans dislike the Steelers, but Jerome Bettis always seemed like that fun kind of guy. Like, it's hard to – it just feels like it's hard not to like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Certainly hard to dislike him. He always seemed to have a smile. The way he played, I mean, just obviously the bus, right?
Yeah.
Almost just the idea that he didn't look like a professional athlete.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he did.
No. I mean, listen, the way that dude ran and the mobility that he had, like, that was kind of like he's like everybody's hero a little bit, right? Where it's like, well, if he can do it, then you can't do it, sir. It's sitting behind the bar right now drinking 3 pints of beer, but you think you can, so it's all good.
He reminds you of that guy.
Yeah.
Which I wonder. I don't know. I don't have a good feel for. I'm assuming Jags fan would say I don't like Jerome Bettis, but
see, but
I think he's a likable figure in the NFL.
See, but in that era though, like it was Eddie George and Jerome Bettis, and I feel like obviously Jaguars fans didn't like Eddie George, so maybe there was a little appreciation for the bus more than obviously Eddie George.
Yeah, true. If you pick your poison there.
Yeah. No, obviously, I feel I was an Eddie George guy, but that's just because of my build when I was in middle school and high school.
Speaking of having a few pops.
Yes.
Maybe being a shade.
Little basic beverage.
Maybe a little popcorn. Too much popcorn.
Okay.
Too many cookies.
Oh, a little popcorn. Okay, I thought you were talking about basic beverages.
What happened to the guy who weighed in 11.5 pounds over his fight weight?
Yeah, for the UFC. Listen, I have no idea. All I know about that guy is the fact that he wanted this was gonna be his last fight at that weight division, and then he was gonna move up. Well, I mean, that's a good way. And we're talking about Rafael Alves, by the way, weighed in at 157.5 pounds, which is 11.5 pounds over the featherweight limit. So listen, you can't have that fight anymore because there's like laws in place, right? Like usually the way this works, Brent, is if you weigh over like a couple pounds, they dock like 30% of your purse, right? So regardless of how the fight ends, your opponent gets 30% of your winnings, which is all right. You'd say it's fair, it's not fair, whatever. But like when you're 11.5 pounds over, there's nothing you can do. Like you're done. So I'm curious to see how Dana White reacts to this one.
That is, I said this earlier when I asked you about this. That's embarrassing, though, and also disrespectful in the sport, right? It's one thing to miss by like a pound or so, sometimes cutting, but 11.5 pounds, it's like you didn't even try.
I mean, we always talk about, like, listen, I get people want to say cage fighting can be barbaric and all this stuff, but it's still a professional sport. And missing weight, especially by that much, it's the most unprofessional thing that you can do. It's the most disrespectful thing that you can do to your opponent.
So it's that big of a deal?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. Even when guys like miss 1 or 2 pounds over, I mean, I say guys, but girls as well. And sometimes there's excuses, right? There's injuries and things like that. But no, like in terms of disrespect and bad optics, the worst thing you can do is weigh in over.
Yeah, well, and I think the reason being, I mean,
Well, I'm sorry, that and steroids. Steroids obviously are big too.
You think you'd think just because all the effort, like think you're fighting on March 13th, so all the effort to go from, what was your last fight, like in
September. Yes.
So you go that far and you put all the training in to go to your next fight, and here it is, and I can't fight potentially because you didn't weigh in.
Yeah,
that's where the disrespect comes from.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, like you're sacrificing your body, you're sacrificing time away from your family for fight camp, and then all of a sudden, like, listen, and you're ready to go, you're primed, and you show up, and your opponent's like, I can't do it. Like that's the thing with the contract, Brent. There's an agreement that you both are going to work hard, you're both are going to make weight, and the fight's going to go down. And when somebody doesn't do that, it's the most unprofessional thing that you can do.
Yeah, that makes sense. South Beach Gary's on the line. What's happening, man? Heading into the weekend, Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690.
Good afternoon, guys. And Brent, but first of all, Brent, there's one reason your ideas, and I understand, but there's one reason your idea would never work. Professional sports relies too much on advertising and the advertising dollar. There's no way these advertisers are going to give up 2 innings worth of advertising, a lot of it being in prime time, being in the 9:30, 10:30 window. They control too much. They wouldn't pay the revenue that they were required. It'd be too much. These MLB would be losing in revenue.
And Brent Martineau, your rebuttal.
Well, here's the thought on that. It's a good point. I think that's a fair point. I would also say this, though, Gary. If you grow the game, and this is the idea, right? The idea of this concept is to grow the game. And so if you're growing the game and more people are watching it, then the value of those spots and everything else in the first 7 innings increase incrementally to replace the final 2 innings, is what I would say. I think if you're really losing people, and you're losing people at the ballpark, well, then there's less eyes on those advertisers. If you're losing people on TV, there's less eyes on TV. And so that's what you have to weigh. And if this whole idea, this concept would be about growing the sport, well, then you're going to bring more people to the game, more eyeballs, more everything else. And I think the net result of however you want to shape it would be more dollars for the sport, for the teams, for everybody else.
Right, but I think when you're talking about the length of games, I think people are more concerned about the pace of play than the length of play, because it takes 3 hours for a football game too, but the pace is a lot quicker.
Well, but you can't replace it though. That's the thing. Like we can't start having the first baseman collide with the batter. Like that's not what we do. Like that's just not the sport. So while your point's a good one, I think this argument that I saw on YouTube was really good. It was like 40% I think the pitches, I think is how they worded it, are either ends up in a strikeout or a home run, or maybe it was a flyout. No, it wasn't even a flyout. It was like a strikeout or a home run or a ball. That's what it was. It was 3 different things. Well, that means the ball's not in play 40% of the time. Yeah. Like there's no action. Like you're not making a diving play at shortstop. You're not making a diving catch in the outfield.
Uneventful.
Well, you already have so much downtime in baseball, South Beach, Gary. So I just don't think you can ever even make up what the NFL is. Such a different animal in that respect, because you're always going to have collisions on every play.
Right, but my point is, Brent, each arguments against each sport. I mean, the NFL, it's the officiating. People don't like the officiating. In basketball, there's too much 3-point shooting. I mean, No, you're not going to make any sport perfect no matter what you do. But my other thing is, guys, you Do you think there'll be a lot more 1 or 2 year deals, Austin, with between COVID and the fact that the salary cap's $180 million? There's going to be a lot of 1 or 2 year deals in the off season with the big names, and then they'll do that and then go into free agency again. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man. Have a good weekend. I thought I was kind of in debate class there for a second. I never did
Yeah,
that,
man.
but I thought
Yeah.
that was kind of what it was.
You guys are going back and forth a little bit.
Rebuttal.
You want another rebuttal?
Yeah.
You should.
I'm not done.
Take it
with
then.
this. No.
Take it. I mean, why'd you have to go Larry Bird on him and just say, we're good? No, I'm going to de-escalate the situation. To answer the question, yeah.
He's right. It will be 1 or 2 year deals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Because I think it's more money for the player. Well, it all depends on the guaranteed money. I think if the guaranteed money gets affected drastically, then no, then you're going to see the traditional contracts. But if not, and it's still the guaranteed money, which, let's be honest, I think teams want the guaranteed money because the guaranteed money doesn't count against the what? The salary cap.
Well, I think
right?
the thought around football is that there will be 1 or 2 of these.
Yeah.
In the 1 or 2 year deals. There are more of them, to South Beach Gary's point. And I think more of the reason why, the logic why, will be, well, let's hope it goes back up next year or the year after to what it normally would. So we're not going to commit so we don't hurt ourselves down the road. Yeah. So it's more about that.
Well, no, I
get the player might get more of that money, like you're talking about.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I get
but they
it's
get less security too.
No,
because
true.
Of that.
And listen, and I get it's about that, Brent. But I think from the player's perspective, a lot of guys, and I get it, job security is the most important thing, right? But I think if they get a chance to get that huge signing bonus and then re-up 2 years later, they would take that chance as well.
In that context, it might be the best year ever for an organization to actually apply the franchise tag.
True. And you know how I feel about that, though. Yeah, but you're not wrong.
Certainly that option. Well, the player might be getting that kind of deal anyway on the free agent market. So it might not even be that bad this year for a player to get the franchise tag.
Obviously, the franchise tag is 1 year. I mean, it's that sum. It's no signing bonus, but it's a large sum. So, yeah, it's not the worst thing. But you know how I feel about it?
I know how you feel about it.
You know how I feel about it?
You feel like Bill Lambert after he gets blasted by Larry Bird.
It's not, I mean, that's not going to be a button, first of all. There's no way. And second of all, huh?
Hotkey.
No, we call that a button.
We'll be back on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN.
Are we, though? We coming back?
Give me
See
one
you Monday?
thing. Give me one thing. It's not a punch.
Give me one thing. I got Bill Lambert taking on Larry Bird. 10-8 round in the first round. Second round knocks him out. Bill Lambert.
Like, give me one thing in a minute when we come back.
Oh, I thought you meant.
We got one more segment.
Oh, we're not done yet? Oh, I thought we were done.
I was so confused why you were doing it.
I thought we were done. I thought we're going home.
Well, you can if you want.
Oh, shame on you. Now we got more Bill Lambert stuff coming back. All right.
We'll be back.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Friday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The NFL QB carousel is starting a little bit early this year, with the Philadelphia Eagles sending former first-rounder Carson Wentz to Indy for a 2021 third-rounder and a conditional 2022 second-round pick that could turn into a first-rounder. Here's Mina Kimes, ESPN NFL analyst, on who got the best deal.
What just happened is a quarterback who is arguably the worst starter in the NFL last year, or bottom 5, just compelled his employer to eat $34 million in dead cap and forced his way onto a better team. The winner of this trade is Carson Wentz.
And more details unfolding in the tragic death of Vincent Jackson. After the autopsy, the medical examiner says he may have died up to 3 days before the body was found. His family has donated his brain to the Boston University CTE Center. The Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Hey, boss, how's it going?
How's it going? Oh, let me tell you how it's going. So far this year, I've broken my pinky toe, had a flat tire, and currently I'm trying to pass a kidney stone the size of Rhode Island.
Well, karma strikes again.
What?
Nothing. Oh, look, it's the first Crooks R Us survey of 2021. They're asking crooks like us to list the top reasons we avoid safe touch houses.
There's the crash and smash technology, the video monitoring.
Yeah, but what's number 1?
Gotta be the two-way communicator.
That's what I said.
Oh, yeah. The two-way communicator leads to verified alarms, which lead to faster response times, which are all very bad for us crooks.
Which all just circles back to the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from safe touch houses.
Yeah, thanks, Captain Obvious.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Men, do you feel embarrassed in the bedroom because of ED or PE? Would you like to be the man you used to be? Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution. 98% of their patients experience a positive result from the treatment in just 10 minutes after just one office visit. Listen to Dr. Brown, a specialist in men's health.
Prime Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications for ED or PE designed just for you. There's no pain or surgery. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues, not a problem. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, not a problem. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And it's affordable.
Contact Prime Men's Medical Center to schedule a private consultation. 904-664-8217. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or pay nothing. Call 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
I should have my kid tell you about Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. It's Ty's favorite burger in town. Make it one of your favorites as well. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food has 3 locations now: Atlantic Beach, Mandarin, and downtown Jacksonville. Change your life burgers. But they have salads, pizza, and much more on the menu, too. Let Jumpin' Jack's House of Food be your great neighbor. Lunch or dinner with the family, or they will cater parties from 200 to 500 people. Jumpin' Jack's, HOF.com for online ordering. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food, open 7 days a week.
I'm Elfrida Boney, founder and CEO of Perfectly Suited Career Consulting. I'm proud to be a Jax Chamber member and to serve on the advisory board of the Jacksonville Women's Business Center. The JWBC is innovating and adapting, embracing the digital transformation to serve more women in Northeast Florida. For example, we are launching the Network of Trust program that will mentor and vet female business owners, preparing them to take the next step as a company. For more information, visit jackschamberfoundation.org.
Don't miss the Gun Show this weekend at the Ice and Sportsplex, featuring guns, knives, ammo, and more with concealed weapons classes twice each day. Doors open at 9 a.m. at the Ice and Sportsplex on Phillips Highway just off Emerson, Saturday and Sunday. Buy, sell, and trade. See you at the Gun Show.
As a parent or grandparent, deep down, do you worry that your child may not be able to defend him or herself if bullied? That they may be introverted, too attached to electronic devices, and their grades are suffering? Karate America teaches 7 steps designed to ensure a lifetime of success for your child or grandchild in a safe, sanitized environment with all necessary precautions taken to prevent COVID. Please visit karateamerica.info to fill out a survey and learn if they can help your child.
Have you seen it? I'm talking about the all-new showroom at Arlington Toyota, where they're celebrating with savings all month long. What are you waiting for? Right now at Arlington, take your pick. A new 2021 Corolla LE or a new 2021 Camry LE. You choose. 0 down or buy for just $249 a month. This is a purchase, not a lease. Celebrate with savings and come see the new showroom at Arlington Toyota today. Shop safely in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/February for full details.
First Coast No More Homeless Pets Veterinary Hospital provides premium veterinary care for less. 7 days a week, a full range of services with compassionate care. Pet owners shouldn't have to choose between paying bills or a healthy pet. Call 425-0005, 425-0005, or fcnmhp.org.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. If you're usually listening to ESPN 690 in your car, we appreciate it. But your boss says you're working from home this week, so take us with you. Your smart speaker brings ESPN 690 into your home office. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN 690. Tyler McCumber, by the way, second place out at the Genesis Invitational at Riviera.
Nice.
What's the latest? Jordan Spieth playing well again. It's good to see Jordan Spieth playing well last few weeks. Maybe he's coming back. I haven't really seen a whole heck of a lot on Tiger. Is he going to play at the Players? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you're asking the wrong dude here. I hope he does, obviously.
I know you're all over that.
Tiger, what is Tiger Tracker saying?
What about Tyga?
What is
Actually, I believe that's going to be interesting. I think Tiger Tracker's done. Remember that was at the end of last year? The whole Golf Channel move?
Yeah.
I think he might have got squeezed out. Because Tiger Tracker was a Golf Channel thing, and they moved from Orlando up to Connecticut. And I
Okay.
remember him saying at one point that I think Tiger Tracker's done. Like, I think he was done.
can't
Remember,
pay-
I remember saying
yeah.
we should get a GoFundMe for him, or Tiger should just pay for him.
He can't pay his way on?
I mean, it was his job. I mean, he wouldn't.
You
It's a lot of travel.
Yeah, but you got a lot of Twitter followers.
That's
right?
true.
Yeah, so you're making something off that. Yeah,
I
pay your
don't
own
know.
way.
No, I think it was owned by. My
well,
point being, I think it was. Let's see the Tiger Tracker. Let's see when the last time he said something. November 15th.
Off the grid.
Well, I mean, Tiger really hasn't done that much.
Off the grid.
We need a
I mean,
Tiger tracker.
But on 11/15, he said, after.
Can we start a Tiger tracker?
I'm doing it right now. I'm going to reserve the name right now. Don't take my idea. Nope. We're doing a Tiger Tracker.
Hey.
What?
I just came. How about this? You guys were really doing some good brainstorming here.
Okay.
How about a Trevor Tracker?
Oh.
Stalkerish, though, huh?
Well, no, but
Stalkerish, though?
But look,
What?
if we had helicopters following Nick Foles when he got here,
But what would a Trevor Tracker look like? He's eating at...
he's drinking coffee at some spot.
I was going to say,
Hey.
he's eating at Moe's. That's what I was going to say.
Hey.
That's what I was going to say. And I stopped myself. But I don't know why I stopped myself.
I'm going to do a Trevor Tracker, and during the games, Trevor now has brushed his hair back on the sideline.
Oh, on the sideline stuff.
So here's how this is going to go. You're going to do a Trevor Tracker. You're going to get a lot of followers because the Trevor Lawrence hype is real. You're going to do an interview with Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is going to be like, hey, are you the Trevor Tracker guy? Brent's going to be like, yes, sir. He's going to go, stop that. And you're going to go, okay. and that's how that's going to end. So no Trevor Tracker, but let's go Tiger Tracker.
I was going to do like something good for Give Me One Thing, but I just think I gave you the one thing.
That is a good one thing. Well, I'll do something good real quick.
What you got?
I want you to share the story about the kid that was calling the game.
Oh,
that's
Noah.
awesome. That's my one thing for you.
Yeah, you got to check it out. Twitter. This is really cool. Noah broadcast games from Iowa and moved into the area like
Midwest
in February.
kid, Midwest tough. I like
big
that.
Cubs fan. And
He still loves it.
and so he called up Luke Maribel at Creekside, and he asked him, he said, can I broadcast the games? I want to be a broadcaster someday. And so he puts the games on like YouTube, broadcasts them by himself, did football, basketball, and last night called his first baseball game. He's a big baseball fan. And I'm sitting there behind home plate. He's up near the press box. And I have people coming up to me the whole time, be like, you got to hire this guy. This kid's great. This kid, he did a phenomenal job. He's really good.
And listen, the kid's got skills. I love the hustle. Props to that kid. What was his name one more time?
It was Noah.
Noah. Props
It
to
is
Noah.
Noah.
But here's the thing, though. Here's how that conversation was with Brett Martineau. Noah's like, Mr. Martineau, I'm a huge fan. Any advice for me? Brett Martineau looks down at him and goes, stay out of my way. And then walked away. No, this is my show, okay? I'm running Jacksonville. I'll see you down the line.
Actually,
this is my
what are you
city.
fighting? He's filling in for you. Might have to have Noah
March
on.
13th. Yeah, let's go.
Hey, have a good weekend, everybody. Make sure you check out Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 podcast and also on TV side this weekend. Action Sports Jacks primetime, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:30 on CBS 47. Live, local, loud. Coming up next. Enjoy the weekend. We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Fierce Diamond's most exciting offer is back for a limited time.
0% financing for 5 years. Plus,